clobbering time. It's clobbering time! Clobberanimo!
Welcome, my friends. Greetings to you all. It's good to see you, clobberers, clobberanimos, clobberoids, clobberooskis, clobberettes, clobberites, and welcome to Saturday Night Star Trek, and to the rest of everyone out there. The secret is to bang the rocks together, guys.
Whee! Clobberanimo!
You betcha. Welcome to Clobbering Times number 590 on YouTube. Of course, 1,290 overall for 14 of these weird broadcasting years. And Saturday Night Star Trek number 122. And I am so happy to see you all. Before we do anything, opening words or shout outs or anything, I want to acknowledge a birthday of one of our dearest friends, the wonderful Sandra Feliciano. Thank you, Raymond of King Dolphin TV for the super chat. He says, hello, Clobby and Raquel. It's Sandra's birthday. Happy birthday, Sandra. And also, Ed, can you also please send prayers and good thoughts for my mom and sister and I during this time? Absolutely, sir. Yes. Please, everyone, our good buddy Raymond and our wonderful friend Sandra, they're going through certain times, certain not so great times. And please send out the best of vibes and prayers for them, if you would, my good friends.
Yes, please do that. And it's Scuba Pete and Leslie Pete's anniversary, I believe, as well this evening. Oh. So I hope to see the Pete's pop in.
Absolutely. And so good to see you all here tonight, folks. So we look forward to this. Well, I have fun in all my shows, of course, but I tell you what, this one is always special fun because not only am I here with my wonderful best pal, my wonderful chief engineers with us on in spirit out there, but my wonderful first officer. Why did I say chief engineer? We don't have a chief engineer anymore. Oh, yes, we do. We're gonna blame him for some things tonight. Just kidding, Mark D with a C. But I meant to say, wonderful first officer and commander in chief. Well, she's a chief, isn't she? No, he's the chief. So I'm getting you guys two mixed up. Anyway, well, everybody, before I say something else dumb, R.M. Briggs, commander.
Good evening, Captain. It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. It is always an honor and a pleasure to be here. I get to spend time with you. We get to talk about Star Trek. We get to hang out with a bunch of our friends. Hail to the chat. Good evening, everyone. I am so looking forward to hearing everything each and every one of you has to say, what you think about these episodes. It is going to be such a fun evening. Before we go any further, though, I have a new book coming out, and 16 magnificent people have stepped forward to back my book. And it's an incredible feeling. I am so honored and just, oh boy, it makes me emotional when I think about this love and support that they are giving me to get this new book out. So I have to say thank you to my good friend Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shooter, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, it's their anniversary, Eric K and Kirby, I hope you're feeling better, honey, Enigmatic, Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, damn it, Mark, Jill, Maximum Redstone, JJ Cook, Dadman and the Dadman Clan, and Lord and Lady Thoth. Thank you so much for backing my new book. I hope you're enjoying those new stories. 4 out of the 10 stories are up on Patreon, and I hope you really like the new one. I'd also like to shout out to all the ranches and just say, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your support in this community and all over your socials. You don't get paid to do that. And yet here you are, our loyal friends, helping to promote this channel, helping to promote this show, and helping everyone in the chat get to where they need to get to and get things done when they need to get things done. And Claudia and I are so grateful to you for that. And last but certainly not least, my Captain, I'm so excited about tonight. Let's do it.
Yes, indeed. Love it. Thank you so much. Love you. And what a great crowd we have here already tonight. And I know more will pop in. And we will start our shout outs in a moment. First, of course, as we always like to do, as always, we take care of the show notes as I write down your names as you slowly trickle in. Let's see. All right. I'm keeping track of who to write down for the shout outs while we're starting up the show notes. Show notes are as followed. Tomorrow night, speaking of the great chief engineer, I should be hanging out with the great Mark D with a C on his amazing channel. Please, of course, if you have not already, please go to his channel and subscribe. He can put the link up in there. Anyone else can as well. Sunday Night Geekery, a lot of fun. If you like geeking out late on a Sunday night, just set the week off straight, or maybe to end your week at a fun geek way. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm there with him whenever I can be, and that's most of the time. And we just have a lot of fun with some other friends who pop in and just random geekness. It's a lot of fun. Now, tomorrow night on CLOBBERIN Times, it's a big double feature, twofer. Every B Monday of the month, that is the second Monday of the month, at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, a special earlier time. My good buddy, the great J-Man, joins me for a trip to Earth B, a wacky world of Bob Haney presentation. Clobby's Classic Comics Review. We will review a different Bob Haney comic every month, the craziest, just the wackiest writer ever. And since it's a bit timely, since the Flash movie is coming out just a few days after, and we all know Batman is in that one, or at least if Bat Keaton is, I figured why not pick one of his many Flash team-ups with Batman. And boy, is this a wackadoodle. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's Batman is Brave and the Bold. 125 from 1976, and J-Man and I have a lot of fun. The other 3 weeks of the month, we review Legion of Superheroes comics. We're chronicling all of that in order, but this week it is Earth B, Bob Haney. And then later I will have a regular show at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just talking basic Monday Night Mark C comics talk, and that will, of course, be a lot of fun. And then Wednesday night, Wildcard Wednesday night, I got a wild card coming in. Usually it's nothing going on, but once in a while, I like to bring in a special topic, and it doesn't get more special than my extraordinary friends, Michael French. I love you too, Melinda, by the way, Melinda. But Michael will be joining me of the great, of course, Retro Blasting channel. If you've never seen a Retro Blasting video or never been to their channel, go check them out. It's one of the greatest on YouTube. Has been for well over a decade. They're the best. If you love, 80s, anything to do with the 80s in terms of geekness, toys, cartoons, and pop culture of the 80s. Into the 90s a little bit, others too, but mostly kind of sticking mostly on the 80s. Cartoons. What a great channel and what a great guest he always is. I just love it when Michael comes and hangs out with me. So I'm really looking forward to that. He's a great friend and a lot of fun to hang out with. Then there will, of course, be the Clubhouse. Where did I put you? Clubhouse? Oh, yeah, the Clubhouse. I moved in the wrong spot. With, of course, my chief engineer joining Raquel and I for some fun and some reviews and all kind of great stuff, reviewing some Tales of Tomorrow, some UFO, Jerry Anderson's UFO, some Star Trek comics and such. And then on Friday nights, I hang out with Nick and the gang, of course. And then, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm at Tom's Midnight's Edge After Dark. I'm all over the place. Even the Comic Roundtable with Loki on Wednesday nights. So that's basically what we have for you in terms of show notes. I guess it is about time to make sure I got everybody here so we can start shouting out friends. Let me see. Did anybody show up that I haven't seen yet? Making sure so I can start shouting you out because we'd like to get everyone shouted out of here before we start with our reviews because you're very important to us. And I think I see a couple that showed up. All right. So, I see a few. All right, good. We got a bunch of you to shout out. I really appreciate all of you being here with us tonight. All right, so let me go back to the beginning. Nope, we go back to the beginning. Sorry. All right. First, of course, our great wrenches who are here with us every night, and we appreciate them. Or when they, most nights anyway. The great Eric K. Bronze Wrencher. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
We love you, honey.
Absolutely. All right. Oh, sorry. Bit of a mess up there. Okay. The great Vindicator Wrench of the North, Chris Persia. I don't know if he's here with us tonight, but whether he's here or not, he does so much for us. And have you seen him in there? I haven't seen him tonight, but he may not be here yet.
He might not be here yet, but beautiful show poster, putting it out on all the socials and just promoting the heck out of us and making wonderful things to represent this channel and this show. So we love you very much, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy. We appreciate you, man. You do so much for us. Okay. All right. The great D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Always great to have you. Hey, Lord Thoth.
Mathematician.
I think Lord Thoth is here. Of course.
He is. And you know what that means? It's Sir Lance Thoth's opportunity to have some cheese. Little Lance. Beautiful little beagle. He's our Porthos. Throw him some cheese.
Shout out to his wonderful better half, the lovely goddess Lady Thoth. And, of course, Avon lives along with the Legion buddy. My partner in crime on Earth B and fellow Legionnaire reviewer extraordinaire, the Wench Without Fear, J-Man.
J-Man! Go buy his books. Hang out with him. Go follow him. Hang out with that guy. That's a cool guy.
He rocks. J-Man has been such a great friend of this channel. And I really appreciate you. I've just had so much fun hanging out with him. Okay. Sorry about him kind of doing a few things at once here. I apologize for my damn multitasking. Hungry boy.
HP.
All right, buddy. Good to see you out there. Kal-El. Wrencher, Super Wrench Extraordinaire. Maddie's daddy. Good to see you there, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Fanty Outsidey. Good to see you, sir. And, of course, our own music master, Maximum Redstone.
Redstone.
Let's take a look and see who else is with us here in the chat. Let's see. All right. Okay. I'm getting everything written down very quickly. Sorry, everyone. So I don't want to miss everybody. So that means kind of doing a few things at once with my horrible handwriting. All right. So also here with us tonight, of course, is again the great Mark D with a C. Let's see here. Shooter's here. Shooter.
Pew, 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 pew.
What she said. Simply Steve.
Good evening. Nice to see you, sweetheart.
Yes, indeed. Fast. Got him. Again, the aforementioned Felicianos. Again, happy birthday, Sandra Feliciano.
Yep, and we should put in a little plug for them just because we love them. King Dolphin TV.
In color. Joseph Dredd. Here comes the judge.
Here comes the judge.
The lovely Lisa.
Lisa! That troublemaking sweetheart who I love. She did post food, though, which was her assigned punishment, so it was perfect.
There you go. Michael Beacom. Good to see you.
Evening, Michael and Cassandra Beacom.
Yes. Shout out to Cassandra. Oh, there's the Chris.
Hey, Chris.
What's up, buddy? Hope you're doing well, man. We mentioned you, of course, but you're always worth a mention. Another mention again. We appreciate you so much. Let's see here. Larry's here.
Larry. My good friend,
All
Thank you
right.
so much for always supporting everything that I do and for being here and just being such a cool cat that everybody loves to hang out with. Love you, Larry.
Indeed, sir. Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Hey.
All right, ADB.
ED, perfect initials for education. This guy is Enigmatic Drop Bear. He leaves the best reviews and he puts work into them. You know, it's not just a regular conversation. He goes through and he really puts a really nice, concise review up that you could proudly put on any website. And they're always so engrossing and everyone enjoys them so much. So it's such a pleasure to have you here. And I'm excited to read what you think of this week's episodes.
Absolutely, Ishness. Absolutely. Always. Fiona, what's up, Princess? Good to see you.
I am sending a curtsy.
Always wonderful to have Fiona with us. SP4H.
Oh, good evening. Nice to see you.
By the way, shout out to anyone who happens to be lurking and or happens to be watching on like a download or a rewatch. We really appreciate you. Hey, North Fairfax, buddy. But shout out to you because I know you're out there watching. You just told me so. I just got your message. Victor Frontine, welcome.
Vic!
Good to see you, Vic. Vic. Sean Carter.
Sean Carter from Mars.
Little Scotty. What's up?
Good evening, little Scotty.
Hello there, Lynn Barnett.
Hello, Len.
Welcome. Captain Infinity and Beyond.
Captain Infinity and Beyond.
Rob Altus. All right, Rob.
Oh, good evening, Rob. Nice to see you. And thank you for all of your wonderful feedback on my book. I'm so happy that you enjoyed it. And I just appreciate your support immensely. And for you to be putting that stuff out there on YouTube and stuff, it's really cool. And I'm really grateful to you. Thank you, Rob.
Indeed. Parker Locke. Hello there.
Good evening, Parker.
Hey there. Snail Messiah, my good friend.
As HB calls him, the mighty mollusk.
Indeed. Captain James T. Skywalker.
Skywalker.
Now, I think we've got everyone so far. Obviously, as things go on, we will shout out everyone who everyone accordingly when they pop in. This way we roll up in here.
Yep.
Until then, I guess we'll start and get down to the beeswax of it. Basically, recap to anyone who may be new. If you're out there listening, like whether you're lurking, whether this is the first time you've ever popped in, you catch us later, catch us a download, whatever case may be. What we do here on Clobbering Time Saturday Night Star Trek every Saturday night is about starting at the beginning. The January of 2021, we took on this daunting mission of reviewing all of Star Trek, real legitimate Star Trek, nothing corporate fake drivel, which of course would meaning nothing with the label erroneously applied to anything that was that soiled screens big or small after the year 2005. So, in other words, only 1966 or 2005, which of course means the original series through Enterprise. So, we have reviewed already since that point in January of 2021 the original series, the animated series, the original crew films, Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek The Next Generation films, and now we're getting close to smack dab in the middle of season 7 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. We try to average about 4 episodes a week, which tonight we will be reviewing 4. And basically, what I do is I turn it over to my wonderful first officer. She will explain a bit about the text that we're pulling from, though not necessarily our synopsis, but some of our info and a good reference text for you if you want to look into it, which is called the Star Trek Deep Space Nine Companion. And then we will start off and she will give you a basic rundown synopsis of the episode in question, and then we will just talk about it a little bit, give our views and ratings and such, and then we'll do something I don't know, but too many people do. Maybe they do. We have quite a big, amazing, just extraordinary chat. They will give us their ratings and any words they may have on the episode, and I, of course, will read them to you. So, without further let's get started. So I will say to my amazing first officer, take it away, number 1.
Well, thank you so much, Captain. And the boss is right. You're not going to see anything from IMDb here. This is, when I know you might be tempted to throw up the trivia from IMDb, which is now a cesspool of just weird user-generated crap. Memory Alpha has the filth, poopy diapers stink all over it, so you can't use Memory Alpha anymore. And so as an academic, I thought, what can I offer the show? And so I've been vetting texts so that we can read them together, so that we can enjoy them. It helps us to explore things and find out what's true and what's not true. And it's very obvious that what you get out on the internet is not really true. It's a lot of wishful thinking on behalf of fans. It's fan lore and some wishful thinking from memoirs. And so we avoid all of that here. If you are looking for information on DS9, please buy the Star Trek Deep Space Nine Companion by Terry J. Erdman. He gets some help from his wife, Paula M. Block, who is a prolific Star Trek author, and she deserves your attention because she is original source material. That's right. She goes directly to the directors, the producers, the actors, everyone involved with creating Star Trek. And you get it straight from the horse's mouth. None of this secondhand news, none of this weird crap on these user-generated sites. And so, we really did enjoy that. For TOS, we used the block text. For TAS, we used this amazing site, encyclopedia. I forget I think the guy's last name is Shepis or Skepis. I forget what his name is. And then the TNG, we went right back to that beautiful Paula M. Block and her gorgeous books that are very, very well written. And they're so short and wonderful. They're just perfect for podcasting. But then along comes DS9. And this is the perfect text. But you know what, folks? It's just not good for podcasting. So we read the summary from Wikipedia. And we know it sucks. We know it's mostly crap. We correct it immediately. But you know what? We need it. We need it because not everybody has a chance to rewatch these episodes, and it's a launching off point. It just tickles your brain a little bit and reminds you of what the episode was about so that we can all come together as Trekkies and talk about the episode. So we'll do that. But if you're looking for information, please buy this book. It has some of the coolest stuff in it. It's all vetted and it's all original source material and worth your time. And I think that about covers it. I'm hoping, the boss and I, we've been looking around for how we're going to do Voyager and what kind of source material we're going to use for Voyager. There's not really much of it out there. And we've also been looking around for something for Enterprise. A favorite of Clobby. Clobby and I really love Enterprise. And we will reveal those texts when we ascertain which are the best texts to use in order to get our information. But for now, it's Wikipedia, folks. Sorry.
Yeah, it's good enough. just to
And
get
I
this.
should also say too, it's really super important because it really matters that people in the audience know this. This is a non-scripted show. It's totally organic. Clubby and I never talk about the episodes before the show. We don't pre-read anything, so go gently on us when we are reading things, because we want to discover it with you. We want to leave it organic. We don't want to start, shaping one another's opinions. So everything that's happening here is happening live and totally organically. Nothing is scripted. Nothing has been prepared or practiced. So be kind to us. And
Indeed,
I think
indeed.
that's it, boss.
That's all right. Hello there. Welcome to DJ Ronnie G, my friend. Hey.
DJ Ronnie G.
Hey,
And
Graham. What's
Graham.
up? Graham, what's up there? Good to see you. It's all right. Good to see you there. Okay, well, shall we roll? We're ready for our first episode of the evening?
Yes, I think
All
we
right.
are.
Let's go for it. Our first episode is called Covenants.
Yeah. Covenant is season 7, episode 9. And if that doesn't work for you, it's not you. Okay. First of all, DS9 is broken up in very odd ways because it has multiple part episodes over many seasons. And it's also being broken up differently by different streaming services all over the world. And this is an international show that hosts an audience of, between 200 and around 300 or 320 people. So if your numbers aren't adding up, don't worry about it. Just remember, we're covering Covenant, and the production code, if you're following along in the text, and many of you are, is 559. This episode first broadcast on November 23rd, 1998. I'm going to be reading from Wikipedia extemporaneously. Go easy on me because the writing, it really sucks. But let's just do the summary so we can start breaking this down. Kira is visited by Fala, a Bajoran cleric who taught her when she was a child. He gives her a gift that turns out to be a transponder that beams her to Empok Nor, a formerly abandoned Cardassian space station. Empok Nor is now inhabited by 50 Bajorans who believe that the Pa race are the true prophets of Bajor. The leader of their cult is none other than Dukat. The Bajorans' faith in Dukat is so strong that when Kira threatens to kill Dukat with a phaser, many of them place themselves in Kira's line of fire. Well, that wouldn't be Kira's line of, Kira's line of fire, but place themselves as shields in front of Dukat. It would have been better to say that. Fala introduces Kira to cult members Mika and her husband Benyon. Mika is pregnant, and the station's populace eagerly awaits the first child to be born into the cult. When the baby turns out to be half Cardassian, Dukat improvises a speech in which he calls the baby a miracle from the Pa race, a sign approving their faith in Dukat. Kira is immediately certain that Dukat is in fact the biological father of the child, and plants a seed of doubt with Benyon by asking him if Mika and Dukat had spent time alone together. Mika tells Dukat she is not sure she can lie to Benyon about the child's true parentage. Dukat opens an airlock, attempting to blow Mika out into space, but Mika survives, and the doctor reports that she is likely to recover from her injuries. Dukat calls the incident an accident, but prays to the Pa race concerning that his followers will discover what he has done. Dukat decides to have the Bajoran believers commit mass self-deletion. Sorry, folks. You can't say that stuff or the algorithm will bleep you out. Using pills that will reduce the body to dust. Kira is locked in her quarters but escapes just in time to reach the self-deletion ceremony. She knocks Dukat's pill out of his hand onto the floor, and it mingles with the other pills. Dukat scrambles to find his pill amongst the others. Kira accuses him of using a placebo, having no intention of dying himself. With this revelation, the Bajorans turn against him. Dukat beams out, and Fala takes a pill and swallows it, explaining his decision with the word faith. The Starship Defiant arrives and takes Kira and the cultists back to Deep Space Nine. Kira ponders the meaning of Fala's last words and acknowledges that Dukat may truly believe in what he was doing, making him more dangerous than ever. And that is all Wikipedia has to say about Covenant. And now I'll put it over to the boss. Boss, what did you think of this gigantic crap sandwich?
First of all, Claude Selling and the great Dead Man is here. Hey, Claude. Good to see you there, both of you. Thank you for being here tonight. Hey, Brian Hepburn. At least my mind is being taken off this idiocy by good friends showing up. That's a good thing.
So bad.
I'm so sick of this crap. I mean, does anyone want us to continue from this point? Who wants to take my place? I mean, I'm tired of this religious crap. Look, by the way, I want to say, I'm not knocking religious people. I'm talking about religious crap on this show. In other words, I'm not a particularly religious person myself, but I respect many, many wonderful people who are. And look, but this is, incidentally, this is nothing new. This is not like this is revolutionary. This is all what most of Hollywood has always thought of religious people. The Jim Jones crap, though.
It's bad.
Really? I understand this was at least about, this was a good maybe 15, 16 or so years, 17 years or whatever after the Jim Jones, incident.
But that's immaterial because it really shows that there was nobody wrote anything here. They looked at David Koresh, they looked at Jim Jones, and they wrote that down. And there's nothing creative transpired here.
It's just I can't. I'm trying not to. I'm not going to show so much anger. It's just frustration, and I'm not even angry. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of this crap. I watched this crap. First of all, when are they going to get Dukat a mustache so he can just twirl it and get it over with?
It's bad.
He's awful. Great actor. Look, Mark Alamo's terrific. He's doing a job they're telling him to do. His performance is extraordinary. His character is destroyed, in my opinion. Making him a zealot, making him crazy with the whole power thing, all this spiritualism, all of this religious stuff. Hey, Mr. Angel.
Evening, Chef.
I wouldn't mind them bringing religion into a show where they're being fair about it, and not it wasn't all about trashing religious people. Then you could counter the argument and say, well, Kira's a good person. She's religious, and she's not. Fair enough.
Yeah, but if she's just used as a platform to mock people's faith and to mock religion in general.
Right, she's a tool.
It's like saying, I like Gandhi. And then you just proceed to say that, all people who believe in religion are stupid or whatever. And that's basically what's being done here. I mean, that's a very basic way to say it. And it sounds very, insulting. But that's exactly what's happening here. This is the exact argument that Gene Roddenberry talked about having with Michael Piller about how if you take the religion and start making fun of it, or you put too much politics into it and it starts turning off the audience, this is what the two of them argued about. And here we are.
And I don't want to be a broken record, but it might be all fine and good and valid to do stories like this and other things. It's just, as we say time and again here, it's just not something I'm wanting in my Star Trek.
No.
I don't need it in my Star Trek. I'm not fond of it in any really entertainment, but it's because it is, it's always interesting drama. These people are good at making good drama, but I just don't get into this. This is Star Trek. It's supposed to be a Star Trek show. It's called Star Trek. And like you said, Gene Roddenberry didn't believe of trashing people of faith. This is clearly another of many Hollywood examples of trashing people with faith. There's nothing interesting about the episode. In fact, I'm going to forget about all that for a second and say, let's say I didn't care. Let's say I was someone who didn't like religious people, didn't care a whit about them being made fun of or disrespected. I would still just say this episode is crap because it's not well done in any way. Hey, hello, Jill.
Good evening, Joe.
It's not well done in any way. It's just boring. Okay, so if I were the most anti-religious person on the planet, I would say this episode is just boring and dull. And really, Jim Jones is all you guys can give us. You actually turned Ducat into Jim Jones,
Yeah.
and you think that's good writing? You think that's good character development or
No.
character evolution? It's not.
No.
In any way, this is just absolute garbage.
Yeah, and you know, there's no denying it. It's not as though it's up for interpretation. If you clearly, and you know, I think people need to really watch the show and understand that when they start using words interchangeably that clearly show what they're doing, like, you know, they mentioned the word heaven, that the Paul race were expelled from heaven, but and these things, like it is undeniable that they are making fun of people who believe in God, of people of any type of faith. And how we know this is because they continually forward this idea that the goodness, these good gods, the kind, benevolent gods that taught them to be kind and to not make war and to be forgiving and loving and all these things, when they were vanquished, when they were sent away, these people merely embraced these demonic or devils, these gods that they had been taught their entire lives were evil. They're demonic. They're bad. And so, you know, there's no denying what is being done here in writing this type of script. It's not an exploration of religion. It's not to say, you know, religions change, or you know, maybe you should try agnosticism or atheism or anything like that. That's not what's happening here. It's really saying, you know, that people are dumb sheep, and that they'll believe in any higher power because it's a weakness, and they'll even believe in something evil if something good goes away, just because that's what is the easiest thing to do. And all the signs and symbols are there, even in this opening conversation with Odo, when Odo is basically, you know, gone to the shopping center to figure out which religion he would like to participate in, and then turns around and says, you know, he has no interest in actual religion. He just wants to spend time with Kira. And so here he's demonstrating that he would go and worship. He would go to a house of worship with no intention of doing anything but socializing. These are very, very strong semiological signals that are being sent to the viewer, and it is not complementary to religion at all. It's actually very dangerous, very insulting, and it's not very good. And I could say that as an agnostic. I'm an agnostic, and I'm saying this.
As am I.
You know, I'm not here to convert anybody to any religion. So that should be proof positive. And I think that the semiology is there. I really think that when people go and see the signs and the symbols and they hear the dialogue, it's certainly undeniable.
I'm also sick of transporters that can transport whatever the hell they feel like. It just sort of a dumb story.
Yep.
How can they have a transporter now that can transport someone as far as
3 light years
of Impact Nor?
Yep.
Okay, just because they couldn't find some other way to get her off the station, it's stupid. Anyway,
and
notes?
Why is Impact Nor on its side?
They think it's. I think they're trying to be artsy fartsy, but yeah, they're being arty. Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway,
it's really
weird.
silly.
Should I do my notes?
Yeah, notes. Go for it.
Okay, folks, it's always bothered me that in the opening scene, Ducat's Bajoran earring has fallen off and is swinging back and forth violently. This should have been caught by the director or one of the producers, and it should have been corrected. But it's always hysterical when it's swinging back and forth. It's ridiculous. The exact mocking of religion that Jean fought with Michael Pillar about, Ducat says the Paul race were cast out of, and I quote, heaven. There's no doubt in what they are mocking here. heaven, and that the goodness of God is merely determined in history by who, and I quote, one. And so there were some people who were incredibly angry with me, stating that this was more kind of like Greek mythology. There is no heaven or hell in Greek mythology, and certainly this casting out is definitely Lucifer. Moreover, that religion is merely a way of bonding with others. This conversation with Odo about attending church with no intention of believing or connecting to any spirituality whatsoever. And he begins shopping around the different religions as if they mean nothing at all. It's merely just a place to go and spend time with others. So incredibly disrespectful semiotics there. Ducat and Cisco are the messiahs of a people who have switched their faith from gods to devils. And so, once again, this is more evidence. Whenever I make an assertion as an academic, certainly I like to forward evidence. And here we see this Ducat, who's Cardassian, and Cisco, who's a Terran. He's a human being. They are these messiahs of these people who just automatically, like overnight, switch their faith like a light switch from gods to devils. Extremely disrespectful. Why would striking Kira on her left shoulder knock her out? Bruises don't appear so quickly. So Kira is a terrorist who beats the crap out of guys. She can go, she can have like a Bruce Lee session with huge, you would think Nausicaans, the way that they build her up, and yet here she's merely hit on her left shoulder and is out cold, dead to the world, gonzo. More of the Ducat slept with Kira's mom and now wants to sleep with her stuff. I find this incredibly weird. I don't know why they keep bringing this up, but I find it rather, I don't know the exact word to choose for it. I find it weird. Anyway, yeah. You want to say something like, hedonistic or something like that, but I don't want any type of Judeo-Christian, morality attached to it. I'm saying, even as an agnostic, if there's no type of religious trappings around this, it's incestuous and it's gross, and I don't know why they keep bringing it up. It's weird. Ducat's baby becomes a covenant. This is disgusting. This is some Jim Jones BS. Proposing that all miracles are lies or shared and projected is not Star Trek. So once again, I've made an assertion and now I'm providing some evidence. We have a full conversation about how the nature of miracles. And it is agreed in the dialogue that miracles are merely lies. There are things that people share together, and then they are projected down through history. So once again, extremely disrespectful and horrid. This is not Star Trek. Questioning the very nature of miracles is not Star Trek. That's not what Star Trek is meant to do. It's not to prove to people that the very idea of miracles are some type of falsehood or some type of human or intellectual weakness. That's not the point of Star Trek. The purpose of this episode is to mock and simplify and question religion and faith, to reduce all religion and spirituality to a David Koresh or a Jim Jones type of situation. This is insulting. This is unethical. And I say that as an agnostic. And then we have this mass cult self-deletion. This is over the top. This is way on the nose. This isn't science fiction. This isn't Star Trek. And it's an F.
Yeah. Well, I give it an F minus. It's just junk in every single way. Everything about it. There's nothing interesting about it. There's nothing laudable about it. Nothing creative about it. It's just this worn out, even at the time, worn out kind of Hollywood drivel, written by Hollywood degenerates, like most of the episodes of the show. Well, every episode of the show, really, and who have nothing but contempt for anyone that's not like them, not in their Hollywood little cliques or the Hollywood little bubble. And they think this is what they think of all religious people, instead of just any chance to throw them in the same basket, if you will,
Yes.
with the ones who do the bad things, and there are plenty of religion. They're human, so plenty of human people do bad things in the name of religion. They think it's all of them. That's just the way they roll. They're mindless fools, and they're despicable, and more to the point, they don't understand or care about Star Trek. They would rather, in some ways, they remind me of filth merchants of the modern day, and we won't
Yep.
go too far into that. So anyway, yeah, it's an F minus for me now. My friends out there in the chat, please now give us your any rating you may have of Covenant, and any words you may have. Go for it.
Yeah, and I'll star them for the boss, and then the boss is going to read them, and it's going to be great. Oh, Masters Maniac Mexico just showed up, boss.
Hey,
okay, I'm going to go
him.
quiet now so everyone doesn't hear the clickety click, and I'll leave you to the captain.
Yes, indeed, Masters. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. I hope you are feeling well, sir, and doing well. Yes, sir. No, don't worry, everyone. Number one is starring those. It sounds. And I'll start reading those in a second, once you get a couple of them collected up. I want people to know that it is no. Well, sorry. Hey, Paul Listro. Am I saying that right? Listro? Paul. Hello there, Paul. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before. But it's good to see you, and welcome to Clobbering Times. Saturday Night Star Trek. Yeah, I take no joy in having to be brutal to this show that I've liked a lot over the course of the years that I've always said was a good show. But breaking them down like this, and our job is to break them down and be honest. I'm just having to call it as I see it. So, anyway, simply Steve, who jumped the gun. Hey, just kidding, Steve. That's all right, brother. He gave it a D- rating. Real title, Shoving It. Indeed. Good one. Down our throats. Well done, buddy. Ducat's attempt to delete everyone. And typical escape. He's so evil at this point. A 3 light year transporter MacGuffin, and too much religiosity here. Yes, sir. I stand under. Monsters Maniac Mexico says that's the first time Wiki has to say more conclusive, creative, and constructive words than I could scratch together for this mindless, senseless, useless episode. I guess Jar Jar wrote the comment. F. I does not know, buddy. Our great enigmatic drop bear says F. This story has many problems, but principal amongst them is that we're expected to believe that a group of Bajorans would blindly follow Ducat, the genocidal leader of the occupation. Oh, that's such a good point. That is such a good point. That's probably the best point of them all, really, Ed. And that's why I'm not surprised you came up with it. That's fundamentally, they're like, Ducat, yeah, we trust you, sure. Oh, God. Of all the people that they would follow. The historical equivalent would be a group from a certain persecuted race led by one of their resistance and religious leaders joining a cult led by a certain German despot. It's ridiculous. Again, point brilliantly made. That's about that level of idiocy. Sorry, idioticness is not a word, but I might turn it into one day. Absolutely perfect. As he did in Chrysalis, Echeverria employs a bunch of really clumsy exposition to try to rationalize the stupidity of his story choices. Indeed. Why have so many of Kira's mentors and idols from her resistance days turn out to be so deeply flawed and plagued with poor decisions? It seems forced and disproportionate. Indeed.
Tiki of Doom!
Tiki of Doom's here.
Yep.
Hey, Tiki of Doom.
Evening, Tiki Doom.
Good to see you. All right. Welcome. What happened to the Cardassian contagion of Impact Nor? Yeah, on Impact Nor. Yeah, good question. Yeah. Why was Dukat unafflicted? Yeah. Wow. Good point. I forgot all about that one. That's why you're ED, man. Wow, that's great. This episode could have been called Jonestown in Space, given the very obvious parallels with the events of 1978. Perhaps using different characters and more nuance, it could have worked. Yes. Indeedishness. Lisa says, F. Paul Wraith zealots following a Cardassian. Okay, fine. Whatever. Was Dukat's baby mama airlocked? What was that? She survived that. Yeah, you got me. They got there in time, I guess. But it was, yeah. At least Hale Bob's Heaven's Gate had a space connection. Sorry, just kidding. No, but I know what you mean. They did.
Blunt Philly reviews.
They
Good
did.
evening,
Hey.
fine sir.
Oh, right. Blunt Philly, what's up? Oh, man, my goodness. All right. Great to see you. Let's see.
Yeah, it's
Right,
the
see.
writing is pathetic. You know,
The writing's horrific.
People, you know, I'm just so glad that we got to do this and that you allowed us to do this in this linear way, because I think about all those people who actually haven't watched DS9, who believe it's like the greatest Star Trek ever, and they mocked people who liked Ent, just treated people who liked Ent like absolute garbage. And you just think to yourself, how do they think this is the best version of Star Trek of all? What?
That's pathetic. I don't know. I'm yes. That's every time I hear that now, it's going to get me more and more agitated. Raymond says F minus maybe F. Move on. Well, we plan to, but we got to get it done first.
Dee Dee Myers Jr. is here. Good evening, Dee Dee.
What is up, Dee Dee Myers? I hope you are doing well. All right, let's see where we're okay. Jill says F. The acting provides a great way to describe the terror of a cult, but it undermines the intelligence of the Bajorans. Dukat has ulterior motives that go beyond controlling Bajorans, but it's just a sickening with no real constructive purpose. We get no reason why no one comes to help, despite knowing her location. So she can reveal Dukat to the prisoners herself. I think she meaning Kira, I would imagine.
Yeah, Nerys. Yeah.
Why does the Dominion have a transporter with a 3 light-year range? That's right. Right from the JJ Filth didn't. That's right. The JJ Filth didn't do it first. What's preventing Odo from knocking down the defenses Dukat has installed? Yeah, also a good point.
Once again, I would just like to remind everyone of the horrible harassment and name-calling that I have endured for saying that Deep Space Nine is not the best Star Trek and that Ent is way better. This DS9, I have been saying this for years and no one would listen to me. DS9 was the opening. It was the seminal, it was the origin of the filth.
Good point.
Of the filth.
I preferred the Kira and Odo romance before, when they would solve mysteries and do real work together. You can have a romantic tension while doing your job, but there's nothing for Odo here. Indeed.
Reggie?
Really, John?
Yeah, John's here.
Hey, John Reggie. Reggie? What's up, sir? I hope you are doing well. All right. Let's see. Where was I? Okay. Shooter says a D minus. Straight up Quark has Romulan ale. Yeah. An easing of restrictions during the war, perhaps. Back to Impact Nor, which is still slanted, even though in space position is relative. Yeah, it's just pretentious drivel.
Yeah, dumb. Right, shoot?
Dumb stuff.
Yeah.
So a cult that worships evil, led by Ducat, who tries to make them all commit self-deletion. At least they aren't humans being duped, or they aren't humans being duped or being eaten by or being evil leaders. That's how they get away with their transparent bigotry, Bay.
Minimus. Oh, I'm so happy that you're feeling better. Minimus is here. Everybody, say hello to Minimus.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you are up and around and that you're feeling a little bit better, obviously, because you're here. So, yeah, we love you. Minimus. Minimus.
Oh, there you go. There he is. Where were I? Oh, and Ducat is still trying to get into Kira's knicker. Yeah,
It's
gross. Why else would any of this happen? Oh, and the writers slip that last line about faith as in F you to religious people. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
That's true.
100 proof, man. There's no denying it. And you can't say, oh, they're talking about Greek mythology. There's no heaven and hell in Greece, in Greek mythology. It doesn't exist.
Fiona says, incomplete F-. I just can't take any more of that fake pseudo-spiritual Bajoran religious crap. I'm over it. I couldn't get 2 minutes in. Okay, so this throws me off when I see what number quote chat it is at the end of the chat. Okay, gotcha. This feels like the filth. That's true. It does. Just tired of pretending that this is Star Trek. I would rather watch Paris turn into a lizard.
Yes.
I hear you.
Fiona, it's true, though. Fiona, it's true. It's absolutely true. You would rather watch Star Trek struggle to be science fantasy than watch this.
Right. An earnest effort to be Star Trek rather than be just this kind of garbage.
Just be a drama that just wants to do everything, mostly comedy, and just tearing headlines and out of newspapers and trying to pretend like they wrote a story. Nobody wrote anything here. This isn't a story. This is a headline out of a newspaper,
right?
And that's it.
The alternative factor, as bad as it was trying to be a science fiction story. Just
this is what I'm saying.
Badly done. It's better than this garbage.
Mm-hmm.
My official review mirrors the UK critics' review of the British band Spinal Tap's album Shark Sandwich. I haven't had this much tried to be shoved down my throat since college. I hear you. Our wonderful friend Katie's here. Look at Katie. I didn't know you were here, Katie. Whoa. Snuck in on us, huh? Good to see you, Katie. Let's see. Katie says, Covenant. All right. Finally, a Kira episode. I actually like this one. Jim Jones in space. Again, and you're a religious person, Katie, and you like the trashing of religion, people? That's cool. I don't know how interesting that you saw it differently. Again, this is a good Trek. This is a good Trek displays the good and bad in certain ideology. Ducat, a monster, manipulates and deceives.
Incorrect.
Naive people, and thus comes destruction. I think following the death of Zayal, Ducat's character went all over the place, and this episode put him back on track to the unredeemable villain he was. Nana did well with Kira's fire and strength in this episode, and I like that they kept her faith through it all, despite Ducat using Bajoran beliefs to his benefit. Kira didn't abandon religion, which was refreshing as a religious Trekkie. B+.
Inaccurate.
Which was refreshing as a religious Trekkie. B+. A 4. Okay. There we go.
Inaccurate. Data in error.
Thank you so much, Katie. And it's good to see you, dear. That's evil.
Just having a bit of fun. That's all.
I know. Katie knows.
Don't.
Katie, look, all opinions are welcome here, Katie. You know that, dear. And she's still with us, right? Sound effects.
Sorry.
You just had to play those. I do it. I love it. Michael Binkham says, let's see, D minus. What? Kira and that literal MRFer.
Yes.
Ducat together again. It feels almost sick at this point. Not to mention that on page 632, they admit that they were inspired by the Heaven's Gate cult. Oh yeah, they totally admit all. Yeah, I don't doubt it at all. Yeah. Yes, the one in which Michelle Nichols' brother committed
self-deleted.
Self-deleted. Oh yeah. Wait a minute, I didn't know that though. I'd never heard about that. Smooth move, Ekavera. Want to know why Gene said leave religion alone? This app is a great demonstration for Hollywood all religious types eventually are revealed as hypocrites, con men, or nut jobs. Again, DS9 is aided by performers who are ridiculously good even under makeup and with a script like this. Yes, indeed, sir. I did not know about I didn't know Michelle Nichols' brother was part of that thing. Wow.
I think I actually heard that, but I wasn't sure if it was true or not.
Wow. My goodness. Huh. Okay. All right. Well, so let's see.
I've heard that before, but I wasn't sure if it was true or not. If it's in the companion, it's verified.
I want to thank you, Eric K. For the I'm starting to think Raquel did not like this.
I love you.
Chat. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate that. And Blunt Philly Reviews. Thank you, Blunt Philly Reviews, for the $5 super chat. Says this one's to show a little appreciation for the best community on YouTube. Clubs, this truly is the OG geek. Ahoy Clubhouse. Hey, thank you for that so much. We do have the greatest group here. What a bunch of cool people. So much. Thank you again. Appreciate that, my friend. Larry says DS9 is the greatest Star Trek. I don't think so.
Right.
I sure don't either. But people are entitled to their opinions.
Larry.
Indeed. Thank you, Larry. Eric K says F. I cannot even finish the rewatch of this one. Insulting and way to ruin even more such a great villain. I just cannot waste my time on this one saying anymore. I don't blame you. Phantom Outside, he says ESD faux episode, ESD self-delete. It's worse than you thought. This was only 1 year after the Heaven's Gate members deleted to meet the Hail Bop comment. Yeah, I remember the story very well.
Those Heaven's Gate people.
I remember that story. Yeah, very well. I didn't know Michelle Nichols had a brother in that. That's news to me. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah, I had heard a rumor that her brother was involved with some type of cult, but I actually thought it was like just one of those like hippie things where they moved to Brazil and and grew food.
Wow.
But I don't have the facts on that, so I can't say, you know what I mean? I wish I had the book with me here, but I don't have the book right now, but I'll look it up.
Well, Simply Steve says negative F rating, real title, shoving it. No, he did when this started, changed his rating and lowered it. Shoving it down our throats. Too much religiosity here. Descartes, similar to JJ, attempt to delete everyone.
Yep.
He's so evil. In a 3 light year super transporter, MacGuffin, how convenient.
Right.
Okay.
Simply Steve.
A revamped version of his earlier review. Let's see here. Stephen M. Callell says, excuse me. F. Although this episode paints a fairly clear picture of what the dangers of cult leaders and the influence they can have on their followers, it does so with a very broad brush. Ducat's explanations are increasingly more ridiculous throughout. And this is supported by the fact that the faith of the members began to waver. Even earlier on in the episode, TNG's descent did this story better with lore, at least with that character. He had the charisma and, to the Borg anyway, a more convincing argument than, trust me, bro. It was incredibly difficult to
Trust me, bro.
Yeah, to believe that the Bajorans in the group, no matter how disillusioned with the prophets they may have been, would willingly follow someone they correctly associated with the Cardassian occupation, indeed, of Bajor. No matter what claims he made, this episode's sole purpose was to set up Gul Dukat's story arc for the season, and it was a tolerable one at best. I had trouble tolerating it myself, but I hear you, brother. Well, thank you, Dad Man Walking. You love that, though.
Incorrect.
That's the best thing ever. Dad Man Walking, thank you, buddy, for the $10 super chat. You were too kind, my friend. Thank you, sir. He said, I'm fading and hate to mess the flow up. No, that's okay.
You're not messing any flow up.
You just got back from a 16-day vacation, so amazing. The flow up. But go have some canes and extra sauce on the missus and me. Oh, you're too kind. It truly was.
I want to have canes so bad.
You will. It truly was a great honor to meet you in person and hang out with you. Oh, same to you. You two were fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I found you found Tiger Stadium. I know. I saw some pictures on that. I'm glad you got to go see it. And yes, I actually had some canes the other day. Thank you.
Don't even brag.
Tomorrow I'm gonna have all kind of, I hope, good fish. But there's gonna be
your agonizer, please.
There's gonna be too many sea bugs around tomorrow, but I'll send those to Mark. Hungry Boy says, rating R for Raquel Raspberry. This is why I drew the Claboni. Please fire it up and put it to work. It's a fair cop. So here we go.
Oh, do it!
Yeah. Let's try to get some speed on this so we can get to the next episode. Mr. Angel says, Z, I fucking hate this episode with a passion. What the frack Gage they done to Dukat's character? No bad DS9 to bed with food for you. Bad DS9, yes, sir.
Tiki of Doom, you are correct, sir. TOS is the real Star Trek.
Right. It's the best. Oh, absolutely. Hang on. Joe Dredd, you come to judge. That's F-. Didn't like the Koresh Heaven's Gate Jim Jones aspect of this episode. No. Right there with you, sir.
Disrespectful, horrible.
Michael Beacom said, I emailed you the obituary for Thomas Alva Nichols. Oh, okay. They did not mention him in the DS9 companion, as that would have been even more tone deaf than they already were. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Maybe not. I think if the author is brave, and Paula M. Block can be quite brave, I think it would have been great to include. If I would have written the book, I definitely would have included that. One thing that made me really respect Paula M. Block, and Clobby was surprised too, is when she said, what's with Taylor and Irish people? Why does this keep coming up? Why are Irish people constantly being portrayed in a negative way with scripts involving Taylor? And so after that, I don't always agree with Paula M. Block, but it made me trust her more, because this wasn't just, like a fluffing expedition where she just made it a book where everyone got properly fluffed and officially fluffed. That she did say some things where it was like, maybe you shouldn't have done that. And so I think, I would have included it in the book because, I love Nichelle, and I would have liked to, poke somebody back in the eye, because that's good. You're showing that you could be balanced and that you're not afraid to, say the truth. And if that means you got to poke somebody in the eye,
There you go. And thank you for Tiki of Doom for saying that. You're too kind. Let me let's get this done so we can get to the next one real quick here. F says the great Mark D with his C. The chief engineer says the covenant is broken. At least the master is in it. The master. Oh, sorry, wrong show. Yeah, exactly. The master.
Right.
At first, I thought I was back at Catholic school. Then Ducat turned into Jim Jones. Yep. There really is no need to waste words discussing this disaster. Hard to believe this is a Trek show. It almost isn't one. The times it really isn't. So, my dear friends, let's stick this one in the garbage can of history, never to return to it again. At least not on this show.
Bye.
Bye to this poo poo. This one's out of here.
Hey, Stephen Ernest.
Really? Stephen
Yeah.
Ernest. And Stephen Ernest, good to see you.
Stephen Ernest says, hello, people. I always enjoy your reviews, but I never could get into this series. So I haven't been here on the DS9 Saturdays. Well, you know what? We totally respect that. You know what?
Yeah.
We're just happy to see you. And yeah, very cool.
Just great to see you, Stephen. That's all that matters. Pop in and say hello once in a while because we're not always reviewing what someone else is really into. We certainly understand that, my friend. But I'm glad to see you, though. Thank you. What did you star there?
Mark.
Robert
It's
N.
important that
Nichols.
we read what Mark said because it's
It was a copycat self-deletion a week later from the Hale Bob incident saying he wanted to join this. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you. Never knew that.
Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate you, honey.
Hey, Smilex.
Hello, Smile X.
Smilex gas. He's a Joker fan. There we go.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Are we going on to the next one, boss?
Yeah, let's go on and let's get this one out of our lives forever. How about that?
Okay.
Let's dump this turkey and go on to the next episode. Okay, so our next episode, folks, is it's only a paper trek moon.
Yeah. It's only a paper moon, obviously from the song, the jazz song, jazz standard. This is season 7, episode 10. And if you're following along in the book, it is production code 560. This episode first aired on December 28th, 1998. And I've been watching it ever since. It's not good, hey? After having a leg replaced after a battle injury. Ooh, I'm reading from Wikipedia. It's a cold read. Be nice to me.
That's
It's
fine.
probably going to suck. Settle up, lock and load. Let's do this.
Yeah,
After having his leg replaced after a battle injury during the siege of AR-558 and the following weeks of rehabilitation, Nog returns to Deep Space Nine. He suffers flashbacks of his injury and he feels pain in his new leg. He secludes himself in his quarters, sleeping almost all of the day and repeatedly listening to a recording by holographic lounge singer Vic Fontaine of I'll Be Seeing You, the song that was playing to keep up the crew morale at AR-558. Now that I've watched The Prisoner, it's so hard for me to see that and not go, be seeing you. Anyway,
see you.
Now, because I'm a Prisoner fan. When his roommate Jake becomes fed up with the constant repetition, Nog seeks out Vic in the hollow suite. After hearing Vic perform the song in every arrangement he knows, all 15 of them, Nog convinces Vic to allow him to stay in his simulated hotel suite for the night. Nog decides to stay long-term in the simulation of 1962 Las Vegas, and although Nog's family is skeptical, Counselor Ezri Dax consents to the idea to see where it leads. Nog and Vic bond quickly, but at the expense of Nog's relations with his family and friends. He gets into a fight with Jake, and a meeting with his father Rom and stepmother Lita is short and awkward. Having his program running all day means that Vic, for the very first time, is living a full life, sleeping, eating, socializing with friends, and running his business. Nog helps Vic with his finances and even recommends Vic expand his business. The two plan to build a new casino, and as Nog becomes more confident, he relies less and less on his cane. Dax, impressed by Vic's result, reminds him that Nog needs to leave soon. Vic has been enjoying himself so much that he's forgotten Nog was there for rehabilitation. Vic urges Nog to leave, and when he refuses, Vic shuts off his own program Forcing Nog back into the real world, Nog attempts to restart the holosuite, but the operations chief Miles O'Brien tells Nog that Vic can prevent his own program from starting and reminds Nog that everyone misses him. Vic appears. Nog finally admits to the emotional trauma his injury caused and his fear of death. Vic counters that if he stays in the holosuite, he'll still die. Not all at once, but little by little. Yeah, don't state the obvious. The merely obvious will do. Nog returns to limited duty, but arranges for Vic's program to be left running all the time to return the favor and give Vic a chance at a real life. And that is all Wikipedia has to say about It's Only a Paper Moon. And now I'll turn it over to the captain. Captain, mon capitaine. Please tell me, what did you think of It's Only a Paper Moon?
Yeah, I'm an engineer, not a philosopher.
Well, is there something wrong with science fiction? And is there something wrong? I'll ask you all this. When I watch a show that has the title Star Trek clearly above it, and it makes me want to go watch another show called Star Trek, like an actual Star Trek episode, it makes me want to pull out an original series episode. Hell, I'd pull out a TNG episode at this point, or an Enterprise episode.
Casino Royale.
I'd pull out something called Star Trek. Look, I get it. That's a thing with TNG on up these episodes that are holodeck obsessed stuff, holosuite. And I really like. I want to go on record to say the things that are likable. Likable. I don't say I like the episode. I like James Darren. I'm a big fan. You know, not just because of Time Tunnel. The Vic Fontaine character is very likable.
Yeah.
And I love a lot of the music. I will say Aaron Eisenberg gives a very good performance. I used to hate Nog. Now, I can't hate Nog anymore. I think he's actually a well-written character, especially for Ferengi. Just like Quark sometimes can be very well-written. And even Rom can be well-written, and they're good actors. They're really good actors. So, and, you know, he's going through a legitimate thing. This is legitimate drama here. This is, but that last is 10 times better than that last horrid piece of trash we just watched. And it has entertaining bits to it. But I just don't really, again, let's just say we want to eat fried chicken, but you bring me to McDonald's.
Yep.
Or I want a hamburger, you bring me to Popeyes. And I go, that was pretty good Popeyes, but I kind of want a hamburger.
Yep.
In other words,
the AI show just walked through the door, boss. Sorry to interrupt.
Hey, the AI show. What's up? The AI show. I just kind of want to watch Star Trek. And this is not watching Star Trek in any measurable way. Even something that's not, this episode is relatively inoffensive. It's got good character development. It's again, if the show had been all business for every episode for the longest time, and then once in a while a nice little break of an episode like this, I think it's okay. But because the show is so overindulgent with stuff like this, I've lost my patience with it. It's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever, good performances and nice music, but I'm just sick of this crap. So I can't. I'm going to ding the episode because of that, for being just so. I'm tired of this crap. Why does Star Trek have to do this? How is this Star Trek in any way? So anyway, go with your notes.
Esri Dax isn't a doctor, so she shouldn't be calling Nog a patient. So she didn't go to university. Remember, Cisco has her declared a counselor, and she doesn't have to take any examinations. She got to skip over undergraduate school, graduate school, and then all of her exams, apparently. So I don't like that she calls Nog a patient. She shouldn't be calling him a patient. This is a story about PTSD. I do love that Vic calls Nog Noggles. That always gives me a giggle when he's like, relax, Noggles.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's a lot of entertaining stuff, sure.
Yeah, it's cute. I strongly dislike the Nog character and how the character treats women. So this needs to be addressed. And it never is. He's
Yeah.
just, and we all know what this is. What this is the
Well, because he's a
for lack of a
Ferengi.
better term, we know what the dog whistle is here for what's happening, right? They come from a race of people where women aren't allowed to
Where
leave
women
the
are treated
house
horribly. Yeah, yeah.
and all those things. So we know.
He needs to learn. Yeah.
Realistic exploration of how the holosuites may be abused, a technology that is already here. So this is a science futurism, and I do like the exploration of this idea that a holosuite could be abused. It would be nice if they explained how and why Vic's program is different. Why is he a Moriarty? What's happened there? And why do we have such a goofy explanation by Miles O'Brien saying, well, I don't know. All I can tell you is Vic can turn himself off. Okay. What?
And then he said,
Yeah, I'm an engineer, not a philosopher.
Like.
Sorry. You there? Sorry about that. Hello there, PD York.
Yeah.
Welcome. And Mohammed Said, welcome.
Good evening. And how would Vic's program run 26 hours a day? It's a rental. So when Nog goes to leave, he says, I've spoken with my Uncle Quark, and we're going to allow your program to run 26 hours a day. When we know that what is happening is that, Nausicaans and Cardassians and Klingons and Bajorans and, think of all Bolians, they're all using that holosuite.
Right.
And they're using it like you would use the rooms above a saloon. Everyone knows that, that's basically the hazmat area, and that Quark needs to hose things off when people are done. So I just think that it's weird that he would say, how would, I've spoken with my Uncle Quark, we're leaving it up 26 hours a day. Huh? No.
They did say something about Vic, some kind of special program or something at one point.
Yeah,
but
they Moriarty him, but they don't say why.
Yeah, they don't. We're never really told why. So yeah, Peter York said Bashir did say something about him having self-awareness or something, but they never really give you any kind of an explanation. So I don't. We don't know.
But then when Nog asks O'Brien point blank if Vic is self-aware, O'Brien says no.
So. Yeah, in this episode. So yeah, so who knows? Again, it's in a show that's a lot better, that has earned the right to do more characters, smaller introverted character stuff. I would like it a little bit better. There's a lot of entertaining stuff in it. I like the music. I like James Darren. I'm not the biggest Nog guy, but I mean, I think Aaron does a good job as an actor here. But I just. Did you have any further on your notes, or
no, boss? I'm done. This
try to make quick work of this one.
Yeah.
I just don't really at the end of the day with it. Don't care. I mean, I'm like whatever. I'm just kind of It's
that's the
all
thing,
you guys
right?
ever do is screw around on this show.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? This is what happens when you have a writing team instead of an author. An author builds this relationship with you, with the characters. But when you just have a corporate writing team and they're sitting there, trying to hammer out these episodes every week and copying most of their ideas from news headlines, you wind up with this kind of crap. Because ultimately we should want to compassionate Nog. We should feel terrible for Nog. We should think to ourselves, oh, this is so terrible. Here's this young boy. He has joined Starfleet. This is a military organization. He's going against everything in his culture. He's a fish out of water. And here he is playing the hero. And now this horrible thing has happened to him. This happens to military people all the time. This is awful. And we have that amount of time to build up this, oh, I can't believe this happened to Nog. But instead, it's the same old Nog treating women like crap, getting into a fist fight with Jake, even though Jake would probably pop his head like a zit in real life. And it's a television show, so you don't have enough time to learn to feel sorry for Nog. As a matter of fact, they do everything. They go out of their way to make you not feel sorry for Nog. Nog is ignorant. He's belligerent. He's physically violent with his best friend. He is demeaning to women. He's just overall unlikable. So how
He's
do we
unlikable.
do that in a television show? How do we then switch gears and say, this is terrible. Oh, what this poor character, look at what this character is going through. It's like some sort of schizophrenic thing happened in the writer's room, and they didn't know how to make the audience feel sorry for Nog. And it's a failure. It's a failure. It really is.
Yeah. You're just walking around and looking at it, but even though I think he's a good actor, I'm looking at him going, ugh, the whole episode kind of just, okay, this is the feel sorry for Nog episode. I've seen it before, maybe once, maybe twice. And I just couldn't wait to get it over with. So, all right. What is your rating of It's Only a Paper Move?
So, as you know, the Rec Room is a very, very close idea to Gene Roddenberry's heart. This whole idea of the Rec Room and him being involved with the gentleman who developed this hollow technology, it means a lot to me. And to see the Rec Room develop into a hollow suite, it just means a lot. We've returned to this cerebral, very polished style of Star Trek, where we have this wonderful jazz singer singing these jazz standards. And then we have this exploration that we rub up against it very briefly, not sufficient to my liking, of hollow addiction, but it's not explained or packaged correctly. So it's not really great, but I really do love the Vic Fontaine character. And of course, I love the idea of the Rec Room. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a B-. I can't give it higher just simply because there's too much wrong with it. You can't make Nog the enemy. You can't make all of these little mistakes around it. When you're going to do a highly technical episode where you're going to explore a Rec Room addiction or how a Rec Room may be used in the future, you really have to dot your I's and cross your T's and make sure that you get all that technical stuff down. And that doesn't happen here. So a B+ or B-, I'm sorry, is as high as I can go.
I'm going to go with a C. Just certainly not anything I hate or anything. Nothing that makes me angry. Just getting kind of just not particularly exciting or particularly thoughtful either. Nothing really. I mean, the only really thoughtful bit in the entire episode was.
Yeah, I'm an engineer, not a philosopher.
So, all right, my friends. Now, if you will come forward with any reviews you may have. Yeah, I did like that bit though, Mark. Now that you mention it, when he was watching the movie Shane, he goes, "I like the Searchers better." And who doesn't, Pally? Yeah, Searchers is going on record. I will go on record saying the Searchers is a better movie than Shane. But
it's
Shane's
almost
great.
like Vic steals the show here, and I just wish we could have spent more time with him. Anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Me too.
And I love you, Eric K.
Thank you, Eric K, for that $2 super chat, buddy.
Love you, honey.
Thank you, man. So we'll get some of these reviews stored up and we'll run with them.
I better go on mute. I'm too clickety-click.
Dude, I like clickety-click. You can even play some sound effects if you want to.
For what I'm doing right now? Absolutely. Here we go.
Oh, no, you don't have to. I'm just saying. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Everyone loves that. Oh, all right. Let's start reading some of these now. All right. Let's see. We'll start. Fiona says D-. I checked out as soon as I remembered it was a holodeck episode. I don't know why they couldn't have Nog work out his issues in a real cafe in the real world. Yep, couldn't hold my attention.
Yeah, I agree with Fiona. It's just there's not enough science fiction in there. And it needed more science fiction in order to make that hollow suite therapy thing work.
I don't have your second one yet, Fiona.
I
guess it's coming.
Clicking. Oh, the chat just did a massive blank out and turned back on. Hold on.
No problem.
What the heck is going on here? So
Weird.
it just burped like everyone's at the same time. Great job, everybody.
Let me know when you see hers.
I will. Hold on. Come on.
Oh, there it is. I think. She didn't number it, though.
Is this one? Is that
Okay. It's not numbered, but maybe that's it. Let's see. I'm going to have to see if this is it. Let's see. It seems like they want to be everywhere, but the actual setting of the series. There were some redeeming bits, but I don't watch bits. And I don't watch bits. I want to watch a complete, coherent show. Ended up playing guitar, where I don't blame you one bit. Thank you, Fiona. Can't blame you at all. Yeah, I didn't have a numbering, so that's probably how she missed that one. Kal-El says A+. This was an outstanding episode showing the results of PTSD and its very real effects on those injured in war. Aaron Eisenberg's performance as Nog in this episode was superb, and I found, hang on, and I got to find your next one, buddy. Give me a second. All right. Myself empathizing with the character during his entire journey throughout the story. Esri showing deference to Vic, although it does pay off in the end, was hardly believable or even, hang on, or even realistic. That'd be like a counselor trusting the treatment method of the person's bartender over their own professional judgment in today's world. It was interesting, though, that Nog fell back on his Ferengi business acumen while living a constructed life in the holosuite, and the fact that the conversation he had with Vic towards the end was what brought his feelings to the surface was a very powerful scene indeed. This episode has been criticized by some, saying that Nog's recovery is too quick, but I disagree. His statement at the end that while he's not okay at the moment, but he will be in time, debunks that claim. In my opinion, sorry, an incredibly enjoyable episode that's of the series overall. Well, thank you so much there, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, let's see who's next. All right. Enigmatic Drop Bear says, B, what is it with Starfleet counselors? Why are they routinely shown up by their apparently less qualified contemporaries?
Because none of them are educated.
Oh, there you go. Well, I guess Guinan and the Waxana being the obvious example.
Exactly. I totally agree.
Wow. A fairly prosaic episode about the travails of the returned war hero and his battles with PSTD and psychosomatic disorder. Nog was an appropriate choice for this, given the events of AR 558. I'm sorry. There we go. Although not a science fiction story, the use of the holosuite and Victor Fontaine was an interesting use of the technology. Thank you so much, AD, as always. Jill says, I enjoyed think about the use of artificial intelligence and the holodeck as a method of healing issues like PTSD, especially helpful if the AI is as charming as Victor Fontaine.
Bubba Doom is here.
Hey, Bubba Doom. All right. Good to see you.
Bubba Doom.
Love that name. Yeah.
Such a cool name.
All right. Good to see you there. Nog becomes angry, violent, and has an irrational tantrum with Keisha, as though those 2 months at the medical facility did almost nothing for him. I did enjoy Nog's finding therapy in bookkeeping. It was inconsiderate of Lita to dismiss Nog, saying they'd already had a party for Ram when it was clear he only wanted to spend time with his dad. So luckily, she's not the therapist. She's not a therapist either. Yeah. She could be my therapist any day, but I'm shallow that way. Shooter says B minus. Just going to say it, there would be many humans who would love to have a cybernetic limb. I subscribe a tablespoon of concrete. I subscribe. I mean, that means prescribe. So Nog can harden the F up. Just joking, folks. Let's see.
Well, it's not that bad of a joke. I mean, look at Gordon on the Orville. Like,
yeah, that was funny.
He got his leg chopped off and grew one in fewer than 24 hours.
Yeah, I loved it. I will give DS9 this. Most shows don't go to this level after a traumatic event. They usually have the character trying to go back to normal with only little issues.
Miles O'Brien, for instance.
Yeah, he's one of them. Did anyone feel that Vic was a tragic figure in this? Sentient yet confined to the holosuite, with the best time of his life was living a normal life when his program was run constantly.
Yep.
Interesting, yes. Hang on. Got to get to that one. Enjoyable while dealing with a real-world issue. Not a bad episode. And Vic doing a better job at psychiatry than Esri. What more would you want? Yeah, well, I hear you. Lisa says, C. Glad to see Nog get back on his feet. Funny how a hologram was able to do more for Nog than Esri. DS9 resident therapist maybe should be a hologram that sings really good. Oh, wait, never mind. Next. I hear you, Lisa.
I love you, Lisa.
Raymond Feliciano says B. I like the concept on the potential of holodecks to assist with PTSD. Just when you think Nog has potential, they turn him back into a douche.
Yeah.
Dick Fontaine makes the episode. Fair enough.
Yeah, you. Raymond, you know what I'm saying? Like, allow us, give us just a little bit of breathing room. Nog doesn't have to be perfect. We understand that he comes from a culture, that is oppressive and stuff like that. But, let's set that aside and allow us to just some breathing space to feel bad for him. Yeah.
The AI show says C+. Alternative title, it must have been Moonglow. There you go. Entertaining episode. Holodeck episodes are usually watchable. Combination of Nog and James Darren works. Sadly, the Knife album didn't sell well. Didn't sell, that is. There you go.
Cute.
Yes. Yes, indeediousness. Our wonderful, where is he? The great Bronze Wrencher, by the way, says C+. This would have been better as just a Vic Fontaine show. Maybe different people other than the normal coming in to watch and talk to Vic. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Our wonderful friend Katie. Oh, what's her first one now? Katie. She's got 4. I'm seeing 2. Oh, there it is. I got you. Got it.
Got it, boss?
Yes. It's Only a Paper Moon, says Katie. One of my favorite episodes in DS9. Okay. Great music, costuming, and script. I absolutely thought Aaron did such a moving job with his performance, along with James Darren. Okay, let's see here. The concept of Nog losing his leg was very important to a lot of post-war Trekkies or fans who suffered from PTSD. Seeing Nog get lost in the holosuite showed his way of escaping the pain, and eventually he had to start over. I think this episode had just enough of the other characters and gave a humanity story for Nog. Gave a humanity story for Nog, sorry. No longer was he the, hang on one second, folks. I hate when that happens, sorry. No longer was he the young ensign. He was a veteran. He was a veteran, sorry. He was a veteran. There we go. Lastly, the music was a wonderful notch, and many of the episodes, many of the songs featured are in Darren's album. This one's from the heart. Yep. A sweet, young, somber ending with the family hug. Solid A from Katie. Thank you so much, dear. We love Katie. You rock. Bubba Doom 1 says, Hail to the fellowship. I'm coming in the show halfway. I just spoke to a I guess it means long's lost brother. No joke. Strange night. The episode gets an A from me. I love this episode. It, for no other reason, if for no other reason, Nog. A Nog fan right there, folks. Michael Beacom says B-. Another quote-unquote guilty pleasure episode. I wanted to spend more time with Vic Fontaine, and looks like they did too. They did too, yeah. Though it's a major missed opportunity, I would think holosuites would be commonly used in therapy, but they act like it's abnormal. Again, Ronald Moore tries to show psychological treatments without talking to psychologists. I studied psych for a year before switching majors, but I'll let it ride. Loved Vic's own self-realization when he is permitted to operate beyond the narrow range of lounge performers. Again, minimal science in the fiction, but enjoyable. There you go. It's a fair cup. Sorry. Who's next? Simply Steve says D+. Rate. D+ rate. Real title, It's Only a Paper Leg. Nog Back to Duty by Dr. Dax. How does Vic live when he's just a hologram? Should overload and running 26 hours. Holo Pursuits had a better plot. Well, I'm with you on that one.
That's an excellent review.
Yes, indeed.
That's an excellent review.
Hang on. Forgot to unstar a couple out of the way. All right. Mr. Angel says no rating. Either the story left 0 impression on me or I never watched it. I simply cannot remember anything of this episode. Fanty Outsidey says B. The use of the holodeck as a therapeutic instead of the holodeck glitch that tries to murder the crew was nice. Nog wasn't holo addicted, but he'd retreated into it as he needed time to recover. As to Nog's behavior, he was in pain and lashing out, so he reverted to base Ferengi. But as far as a Ferengi go, Nog has tried to adapt to more enlightened philosophy when he is actually in his right mind. He has, that's true. His going into Ferengi business mode was the clue that he was at that point, went back to a Ferengi in a safe space. Remember, he has shown self-sacrifice unusual for a Ferengi. Okie dokie. Thank you, Eric K, for that, buddy, for the super chat. You're too kind, man. Nog says he has seen a lot of combat. This was the first time handling a rifle in battle. He had one patrol one.
And further to that, Eric, the thing I didn't like is they didn't explore Jake Sisko being of assistance to him, because Jake Sisko had actually seen a lot of combat. So he was stuck on that planet with Dr. Bashir. They were on the front lines. It was a MASH hospital. He had to go out and he had to face that front line. There was violence all around him. He watched, dozens upon dozens of people die, covered in blood, and he had the shell shock. He heard these bombs going off. He saw the claymores. He saw people dying. And so here we have Jake, who actually did see a great deal of combat, frontline combat, for an extended period of time and war dead. And yet he shoves Jake, who's a much larger boy. It's just ridiculous. Dumb.
D.D. Myers. Jeez. D.D. Myers says, Clobby, I give this episode a C minus. Okie dokie. D.D., it's good to see you. Thank you. Fiona says, I'm really impressed that so many people have the patience and ability to get through these shows. I would probably like them a lot better if they weren't called Star Trek. That's almost offensive to me. Well, I can't say you're wrong there, Fiona. I absolutely.
I know that's not a review, but
I understand where you're coming. Yeah, you're right. I hear you, but I really do understand where Fiona's coming from. That I can't.
Yeah, I do.
I'm kind of the same boat, really.
Yeah, and what's really bizarre is I watch all 735 at the beginning of every year on January 1st. And I double down over the holidays and watch all the movies whenever there's like a big holiday. And ever since the filth has come around and people have been more open about their political beliefs and said some really atrocious things on social media, I've been less I don't know. I just don't feel motivated to watch all the way through like I used to before, start at the beginning and watch all the way through.
Yeah.
I don't feel that anymore. And to me, the more that I'm learning about the filth, the more I'm learning that the filth is based on the worst of DS9, and that's not helping. So it's just so funny how much social media has affected me as a Trekkie, because before I used to watch it and I made some excuses for it. I made some passes for certain things. But now that I know what they're doing with it and how all this is shaping up, I don't know how I feel anymore. Simply Steve. It's like you feel ST burnout. Before, it used to be this beautiful little place that I would escape to. 2 or 3 hours a day, I'd watch Star Trek, especially when I went for my run. But because I used to run 5 US miles every day, and now I just don't feel that anymore. I feel like I'm just not feeling that same magic.
Watch TOS and INT, and you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. The TOS, you never get sick of it.
Cut the other ones out.
Yeah.
We can watch those occasionally, but if you gotta watch them all, just cut them all out. Just treat those like the only Trek if you want to.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mark D with the C in our final review of this episode says B+. I like what the writers attempted here, illustrating Nog's scars are mental and not physical. I can overlook some of the flaws in this episode because its heart is in the right place. Showing how combat or injuries can affect someone's psyche. My grandfather spent 8 months in the hospital, after a serious car accident. I can only imagine how therapeutic that would have been for him. On the other hand, would you ever leave? And it's a problem. That would be a problem with it. Eisenberg does a great job in the scene. Nog, don't you get it? Him say when he says, "Don't you get it? I can't go out there." Vic, why not? Nog, I'm scared. Okay, I'm scared. Yeah, he was scared. All right, yeah. But most important thing to take away from that, though, is this.
I'm an engineer, not a philosopher.
So, are we ready to move on to the next episode?
Yes, we are.
All right.
Yes, we are. There are a couple of young girls playing ball in the street right now, and it's about to get dark. So hopefully those little girls will go inside and stop playing ball. But have to have the window open, folks, because it's hot. It's hot.
They're fine.
Okay,
so
Prodigal's Daughter.
Next episode is Prodigal Daughter.
Yep. This is Season 7, Episode 11. It is production code 561. This aired for the very first time on January 4th, 1999, and I've been watching it ever since. I know. Pity me. I'm going to be reading from Wikipedia. It's probably going to suck. Saddle up. Lock and load. Chief Miles O'Brien has gone missing on the planet New Sydney, searching for Marika Bilby, the widow of a member of the Orion Syndicate whom he befriended while undercover. Because Esri Dax's family, the Tegans, own a mining operation on a nearby planet, she is sent to find O'Brien. Returning home for the first time in several years, Esri is reunited with her domineering mother, Yanas Tegan, a shrewd businesswoman, and her brothers Norvo and Janelle, who work for the business. Yanas promises to look into O'Brien's disappearance while criticizing Esri's life choices. Norvo is happy to see Esri, while Janelle is bitter about how infrequently she visits. Catching up with Norvo, Esri urges him to move away from home, escape their mother's constant criticism, and pursue his interest in art, about which he is intensely self-critical. The local police deliver O'Brien to Tegan's home, having rescued him from a run-in with the Orion Syndicate. O'Brien has found Marika Bilby dead and suspects she was killed by the Syndicate. The police reject this theory on the grounds that the Syndicate would never murder the widow of one of their own.
Hey, one thing. Sorry to bother you. I gotta say something real quick. Katie says she's not gonna stick around for the latest episodes because she's not a fan and doesn't want to get all negative. And good luck. Hey, we do negative around here. I would like to see a trash an episode, Katie. If you don't love one, hey, go for it. I understand what you mean, but look, negative and positive, that's part of it, all of reviewing things. So feel free to write any negative review. We'd love to have you. But if I understand what we're coming from, I just wouldn't want you to go thinking there's something wrong with writing a negative review. But love you. I'm so sorry for that, number one. I figured I wanted to tell her that, though.
It's okay, boss. O'Brien helps Janelle repair some mining equipment, which has been inexplicably malfunctioning lately. Bokar, an agent of the Orion Syndicate, warns Janelle that O'Brien's life will be in danger if he doesn't leave immediately. O'Brien guesses that the Orion Syndicate is intimidating the Tegans and gets Esri's permission to check the mining company's financial records. He is stunned to learn that Marika Bilby was on the Tegan payroll at the time of her death, implying that someone close to Esri may be involved in Marika's murder. Esri confronts her family with O'Brien's findings. Janelle admits that Marika was on the payroll to repay a debt to the syndicate, which bailed the mining company out of a financial crisis, but he denies killing Marika. Angered that her son struck such a corrupt deal behind her back, Yanas doubts his innocence. To everyone's surprise, Norvo admits that he killed Marika after she tried to extort more money from the family. He tries to justify his actions by saying that he was never trusted to make big decisions. As a result, Norvo is sentenced to 30 years in prison. When Yanas asks Esri to reassure her that she isn't responsible for her son's downfall, Esri does not answer. And that is all Wikipedia has to say about Prodigal Daughter.
By the way, number one, Katie says she's going to be in France next time she sees us. France,
nice. Have fun, sweetheart. Are you dancing?
See, France, my goodness, I'm glad you're traveling. Sounds fun. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So again, sorry for the interruptions there, but I didn't want to leave without us getting a chance to say goodbye. And I didn't want her to think that she should ever not write a negative review. I mean, Lord knows we do it enough, right? Join the club.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Okay, sorry about that. Continue, number one.
So that's it, boss.
Just stay a little longer. Good.
That's it, boss. That's all the Wikipedia page has to say about Prodigal Daughter. And now I need to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this episode?
Let me first put my thoughts into this extraordinarily eloquent dissertation, starting with. I'm sorry. Did I fall asleep? Oh my God! Damn, this is what in the. All right, folks. Look. So she says she accepted. She was accepted into a prestigious ballet school.
Good.
And will be visiting Paris for a few days early to see some history. Oh my goodness.
Good. Enjoy yourself, sweetheart.
Oh, that is fantastic. Love hearing that, Katie. That's great. This is just. I know it's character stuff again, more for this in this case for Esri, but I got to be honest with you. I don't have a lot to say about this episode. It ain't gonna take me long just say this episode is boring. I don't really care about her family. I don't care about her dopey, stupid brother who just that was. I mean, was this Murder She Wrote? Because that was like at the end of this episode when we find out why her brother did what he did, and when he gives that stupid confession, it was like watching a Matlock episode or something. It was like watching
It was
like
awful.
Murder She Wrote. I had to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, and
It reminded me of Dallas.
Yeah,
And then it also reminded me of
yeah.
J.T. Kirk.
J.T. Kirk. It was so damn.
Like I used to know this young woman when I was quite young, and she was into those soap operas, and she used to watch one called Days of Our Lives. She tried to get me to watch it, and I couldn't do it, but it totally reminded me of that. Like just like some people standing in a room talking about all the things that they did and how they felt, and it was ridiculous.
And somewhat he gets exposed, and he just I have nothing for him. I mean, I guess Trills do screwed up things because they've already had one of Dax's hosts, Duran, when he was a murderer for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't.
Why would you kill someone, the wife of someone who had worked for the Orion Syndicate? Makes no sense. They would have immediately come in and whacked the kid,
right?
And that would have been the end of it. It doesn't make any sense. And
boring. The episode was just boring. I mean,
I
don't care about her family.
No,
I don't care about anything happening in this episode.
Yeah, I don't care about it either.
It's just boring. Go ahead and do your notes because this episode doesn't deserve much time. It's just like filler.
No.
Beyond. I mean, I know we got a lot of filler already in this show, but man,
let's just get this one out of get it out of here. Okay,
this bitch out of the way,
folks. This isn't science fiction. I don't need to tell you that. You know that. This isn't Star Trek. I don't need to tell you that. You know that. Oh, I should say I bought all of these dishes in 1998. The dishes in this episode, I 100% bought them all. They were from IKEA, and they were very expensive. I bought them all. I had the entire set, enough for 18 people. I bought the entire set. I love that set. I don't have it anymore. Anyway, I have no clue what this is, but I'm struggling to watch it. This is a hysterically bad mess. This is like a bad copy of Dallas or Days of Our Lives. It's just dumb. And it's just weird. It's an F. It's an F. It's an F. And everybody knows it's an F too. It's not like people are like, well, maybe. No. This is complete and utter.
It's a stupid ass, boring, drivelly. Who cares?
You always wanted me to run the company, Mother, but I was never good enough. I wasn't allowed to make any of the decisions. Well, the reason why you weren't allowed to make any of the decisions is because your brother is working 12 and 16 hours a day, and he's invested himself. Yes, he's invested himself. And now, look at what you've done. You've gone and killed someone in the mob, and now you go to jail for 30 years.
Well, at least you stayed awake that long to hear all that. Because I'm telling you, I'm not even kidding. This is just who gives a flying crap.
No one.
I'm
no
sorry,
one cares.
Folks.
Nobody
gives a crap.
No one cares.
It's just go to sleep already. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't even bother. No, if anyone who doesn't feel like reviewing this episode can just not review it. I'm going to review it.
Just skip it if you want, folks.
I mean, it's just not this. I mean, in fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. Instead, next you can do a makeup episode. I want you to review an episode of Murder She Wrote for me.
Yes.
How about that? Was anybody willing to replace this episode with a Murder She Wrote? I bet that would be a lot more fun, wouldn't it?
Yes, or one of those shows that my childhood friend used to watch, the Weird Days of Our Lives show. Just those people they're just like, well, I always tried to earn mother's trust and respect. Yes, but I'm the one who's there working day in and day out. Nope.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and just let everybody review it anyway. I give it an F. I don't really have the energy for that either. But what the hell? All right, my friends. So go ahead and rate this episode. See, I can't even stay awake.
What's the theme song from Dallas again? Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's going on there. Just waiting for JR. I'm just going to put on JR's boots and start kicking a bunch of trills. This is going to be a trill kicking episode. Hand me those boots, JR. It's going down.
Yes, sir. All right. I'm so thrilled about this episode, though. I can't just... What were we talking about again? Well, I'm sorry. Remind what we were talking about again. An episode of something, right? What was that? What we were talking about? What was that? I totally forgot.
You cared.
I can't. Oh yeah, Matlock. That was a great episode of Matlock where the guy. Remember how he tricked the guy into confessing? He came out. I always like all those shows where somebody goes. Here's one of my favorite parts of shows like that when people get called out as the killer and they go, I had to do it. He was crazy. Don't you understand? I had to do it. Like, you admitted it. I got you to admit it in front of everybody.
It's like every episode of Quincy.
It's Quincy.
It's Quincy.
I don't want to mix it up with good shows that were good at what they do, but
yeah.
Oh boy. All right. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry to be this way. I'm not. This is not the way I'm supposed to be handling things. Very unprofessional. So let's start reading your reviews. Katie says Prodigal Daughter gets a solid D. Well, I don't blame you. And that's harsh coming from Katie because she's so nice. I love you, Katie. Oh, Vic Fontaine says, wow, that was a long raspberry.
I mean, I couldn't help it. I mean, it's bad.
Okie dokie. Eric K says, I bow out then. Okay, you can review a Matlock episode next week.
Don't you love Eric K? I love
man. Fiona says F. Another world building fail. How do you even have mining in an age with transporters and the replicated? I don't know. I can't buy the premise, so I can't buy the episode. As is so often the case here. Yep, as is so often the case.
Mommy always did like you better.
More 21st century stuff shoved into the 24th century because the writers lack originality and imagination, and they wrote it in the 20th century. So yeah. But what I realized just this moment is that DS9 ended for me the moment that Jadzia died for what had been left of it anyway. Left of it anyway. Yeah, that's a good part.
I totally agree.
Well done.
You are not wrong.
Indeedishness. Raymond says, F. A very poor mystery. The chemistry between O'Brien and Esri seemed very, very forced. The mom was definitely one you wanted to hate. Boring. And that's saying something because she's a hot redhead. But that's, still. Simply Steve's F rating. Real title, Probable Debtor. Oh, wow. A bad family affair. That has no sci-fi, just a boring, soapy plot. Had a promising vacay for miles away from Keiko. Yet, it was found and helped Esri solved it. And it was, boy, it's even, you know what? You fall asleep trying to synopsize this episode. I hear you.
Cardi's here. Everybody say hello. Gil here.
Hey, Cardi.
Cardi.
Oh, all right, man.
Cardi.
Let me write that down because he's here. Cardi is here. That's his new name.
Hey!
Let's see, D- says MMM. If you want real syndicate stories, come to visit me. This, on all levels, is a kindergarten, but it doesn't hurt actually. It doesn't hurt actually. It helps one sleep. Good part.
It does.
Let's see here.
I did my best.
What?
I couldn't help what my children had done.
Kal-El says C. While this does provide some insight into the character of Ezri before she becomes a Dax, it was a mostly unremarkable murder mystery episode done mostly by the numbers. Even the revelation
Incorrect.
that Norvo was the culprit was hardly surprising. That's true. He was already shown to be a social outcast due to his mother's Karen-like criticism of him. It was too bad, too, but that despite his many gifts, I think she said he was a shitty artist. At least he said that. And he was just a tool. Guy was not even a good character at all. And talents, like his artwork, that the character felt that he constantly needed to prove himself to the rest of his family, which ultimately led to his downfall. It was an overall descent.
Dun, 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 na, 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 na,
Episode.
na, na, na,
An overall decent episode, said, and in that sense, worth a rewatch, but certainly nothing to write home about. That you could get for chats out of this episode is astonishing to me. That you can think enough of the episode to make 4 of those is impressive to me, Kal-El. Thank you so much, buddy. Jill says F. We'd have been better off if Ezri had stayed away from her family and had a party for Martok, as the only interesting part of this episode is when we learn about the different flavors of gach. Boy, yeah, that's bad. The dysfunctionality of her family explains where Ezri gets her neuroses from, and it isn't just because she had no training to be joined. It's really a wonder she passed her psych exam.
She didn't pass her psych exam.
At some point. Oh, she didn't, I guess. Okay.
No, she did not. She did not have to take any psychological exams whatsoever. Benjamin Sisko took care of that for her.
I mean, but to get into Starfleet, though, right?
Her psych exam. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just hyper focused on the fact that she's not qualified to be doing what she's doing, and yet she goes home to see her family. Her brother's a murderer. Her mom's domineering, but also loves one son more than the other, and then the other son is overcompensating, and yet the person who's supposed to be a quote unquote counselor, where are you? Can't help her family at all.
I was just speculating that Jill meant for Starfleet, so I don't know.
Yeah.
At some point, meaning that she passed one at some point. She meant, but Jill may not have meant that. I don't know. I became very distracted away from watching, finding whatever excuse I could not to have to listen to soap opera that cared very little for the O'Brien plot at all. Yeah, it's just you got 3. I'm impressed. You got 3 out of that one. I'm now going to start being impressed with how many chats you can get out of an episode so bland and lifeless. ED, 1 of 3. Say 3, man. If you can do more than 3, man, that's amazing. D, he says, Ezri's family is from New Sydney because the story needs her to be. O'Brien breaks all applicable Starfleet protocols to search for Marika Bilby because the story needs him to. Yep. And on and on and on go this story's many conveniences and contrivances. There was very little that made any sense here. There was nothing particularly offensive about it. It was just dumb. Yes. I would throw in dull, buddy, but yeah, I'm here. You dull and dumb.
I love that Enigmatic Dropper and I try as best as we possibly can to give an academic analysis so that when there is significant criticism, the criticism can be accepted due to the evidence. And on this score, in this particular case, Enigmatic Drop Bear and I both describe this episode as just dumb.
My only quibble with either one of you is that dull is even more worse. Sometimes dull is worse than dumb for me personally. Sometimes dumb can be entertaining. Dull, you can't do much with it all. As this episode limped along, I had Raquel's "A parent should not live vicariously through their children" ringing in my ears. Nice. Right. Thank you, ED. Great one. Fanty outside, he says, A+++. This is my favorite episode of all time. Brilliant in every possible. Oh, sorry, I got it backwards. It says F this episode. I like it when people say F. This episode has failed. You know, even though it's just I put the comma. In fact, I put a period there and then put a T in front of that and change the word "has" into "the failed." I'm sorry. F this episode basically has failed. F this episode has failed. This failed the series. This was the episode Ducat showed his followers after which they wanted to. Oh, he showed them this episode after he wanted them to self-delete regarding the previous episode. I realized Dr. Boyce was right.
Oh, the old cliche that everyone will tell everything to their bartender. Yeah, I owned a bar for like 15 years. People, that's actually
sometimes
true.
A man will tell things, his bartender things. So never.
Everyone tells everything to their bartender. Right. I heard things.
If I had one, I probably would too.
I didn't even want to know half the things people told me.
Sometimes people will tell their bartenders things they won't tell their doctor. Why? After the first season of Murders She Wrote, did anyone invite Jessica Fletcher anywhere? Yeah. Where she goes, death follows. Yeah, that's right. All right. So, yeah, thank you, Fanty. All right. So, Mr. Angel says D. This could have been a great episode with a dark storyline, but they chickened out again. I'm impressed that you think it could have been a great episode, but okay. Again, and I'm just kidding, buddy. And turn it into a soapy again. They sigh. If you go dark, have the balls to go all the way. Writers, God darn it. Thank you, Chef. I don't know why Steve has just got shin kicks up there like that's a review, but it's a fair cop. That's his review, I guess. JT Kirk says,
JT Kirk.
D.D. Myers. So at D.D. Myers, JR, not enough minuses on the that F. Yeah. Okay. Eric K. The Bruns Richards says, A. The episode of the Band of Brothers where they are finally dropped into France was so. Oh, the episode of Band of Brothers where they are finally dropped into France was so powerful. It shows you what an amazing leader that Dick Winters was becoming. Showed the tension of men going, what is this? I'm not sure what you're reviewing.
I don't know.
I'm not sure what that is. Talking about Band of Brothers?
I don't know.
Eric, are you sure that we'll leave that there for now if you could clarify that for that.
Oh, simply Steve, that was my fault that your shin kicks went up to the marquee, but
okay.
I just felt like multiple shin kicks needed to be deployed, and I thought you would be the perfect person to deploy them. So, well done, sir.
Michael Beacom says, D-. This could actually be a script for Falcon's Crest, Dallas, or one of those other family dynasty shows of the 80s. Page 639. There's plenty of blame to go around on this one. On this, Ira Bear admits.
Yeah. Paula Block.
Paula Block, okay. Must ply her interviewees with alcohol. Oh wow. To get such honesty, yeah. They admit it was written fast and sloppy with reused sets. It shows, yeah. This is a prime time soap opera refit with a faux sci-fi veneer. Yeah.
You see why I love Paula M. Block? And she isn't sycophantic either. There were a couple of times in the TNG block and in the TOS block. We call it a block because that book looks like a cinder block, and it's just hysterical because that's also her name. But like she took them to task. She doesn't mess around. She's great. If you want to know stuff about Star Trek, go to Paula M. Block.
You didn't have to get thank you for the super chat. That was unnecessary, buddy.
Funny.
You said review something else, Band of Yeah, but I guess I didn't expect you to. If you'd have told me in that review
That's
that you were reviewing
hysterical.
something, yeah. I'm just saying all you had to do was tell me that's what you were doing,
Oh
and
God,
you wouldn't
that's
have
funny.
to. But thank you, Eric. Okay,
No, I think
now
the
I
joy,
know.
half the joy was trapping you in it.
If you enjoyed that, then that's fine too. The episode of Band of Brothers where they are finally dropped into France was so powerful. It shows you what an amazing leader that Dick Winters was and had become. I think he means showed the tension of men going harm.
Home. Harm?
Well, thank you.
Beauty. It's beauty.
Dee Myers says, Clobby, this one does really deserve the grade of give it an F with zillions of minuses. Indeed. Lisa says F plus. This plus, the plus is for the O'Brien's silly storyline. The plus is for the O'Brien silly storyline is over. So that's good. Okay. I did like the little bit of art and set decorating of Ezri's family home. Ezri and her family problems. Sorry, I don't care. Neither. The AI show says D minus. Alternative title: Knots Landing Bay. Good one. Basically, a lackluster soap opera-ish plot with a murder mystery reveal. Perry Mason said no. Jessica Fletcher didn't care. Directed by J.R. Ewing. Poor old Larry Hagman. Fiona said, HBO, I'm not saying lol because that genuinely actually made me laugh out loud. The dog and the husband started staring. Oh, okay. The dog and the husband. Somebody call an ambulance. Raquel has the vapors. Do you have the vapors? Let's see here. Shooter. A man manages another great feat. He manages to give this 4 of them. 4. Well, that's wow. C minus. Been a while since we had an Ezri-centric episode. Yeah. This is pure drama and can be in any TV show with a changed setting. It's a decent enough story, but again, it's not Star Trek. Fair enough. He's right about it not being Star Trek, though. Why would Miles risk his life to investigate Bilby's wife's disappearance without backup? Miles is supposed to be an experienced soldier. He should know better than going in alone. Truishness. New Sydney. Would that be a human colonized world? I don't know. That's what I thought it would be. I thought that would. Never mind. Why is it independent of the Federation? Why are Trill, another Federation species, there as well? It does not make sense. Well, what does on this show? Well,
that's just because you understand the United Federation of Planets.
What does make sense on this show? So Ezri is not from a Fed world, a Federation world. Yes, Trill's a Federation world. I think, and I'm sure it is, and I know it is. They're in Starfleet.
And New Sydney would indicate that it would be a Starfleet world.
Exactly.
Not Starfleet, a United Federation of Planets.
Federation, you're right. It's got to be. Mm-hmm. Why has this not come up before? Given her family's apparent abandonment of the Trill homeworld, you would think the Trill would want to keep an eye on her. It's all valid questions, and I'm sure they have no answers for them. Fiona, thank you so much for the super chat. You were too kind. DS9, aka Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
It's true. Yep.
Oh, I said Kardashians. I know you meant Kardashians, but I couldn't help it. Let's see. JT Kirk says NCC 1701F filth version. Raspberry Club and Boney. Yeah, I guess it's about time. All righty. So see, MMM says, I don't know why, but now I can't get Goldacott staring at Bobby Ewing out of my mind. Thank you, Commander Briggs. Do you pay the therapy? Yes, it's on her.
Love you, Pastors Maniac Mexico.
Our final review of this scintillating episode by the great Chief Engineer Mark D with a C says F. Let's get this over with quickly. Even the writers and directors admit this episode was stunk, and the DS9 companion Nicole DeBoer Ira apologized to me for this episode afterward. Wow. According to Burr, there's plenty of blame to go around on this one. The script never came together. Ron Moore is more blunt. It was just a mess. The next episode has to be better, right? Okay, are we done with this?
Yes,
This twerp of an episode.
please.
Okay. Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna go get medicine if you don't mind, because I'm gonna need
Okay,
it.
everybody, watch my back, watch my six.
You're in hearing in earshot, so don't worry.
Thank you, boss.
Right back.
Mark, everyone, watch my back. Let's do this. The Emperor's New Cloak, obviously a play on The Emperor's New Clothes. This is season 7, episode 12, prod code 562. If you're following along in the juicy text. This first aired on February 1st, 1999. I've been watching it ever since then. I know, pity me. Now I'm going to read from Wikipedia. This is the article that a bunch of people decided to write together, and they usually suck, and the grammar is usually atrocious, and so the reading is difficult. But, saddle up, lock and load. Let's do this. Oh, the mirror universe. Counterpart of Ezri Dax shows up at Quark's quarters on Deep Space Nine with a message. Oh, little Zaki went to the mirror universe in search of business opportunities and was kidnapped by the Alliance, who demand that Quark exchange a cloaking device, a device that can render a starship invisible, for Zek's freedom. Who wrote this? Whoever this person is, they should not go through the Klingon rite of ascension. They're not going to go to the agony booth. Just rover them. Just get it over with. Rover them. Quark and Rom steal a cloaking device from the Klingon General Martok ship, which they hide by cloaking the device. They get the device to Ezri and are forced to transport to the mirror universe with her when Martok discovers the theft. Like I said, this person must be rovered. Upon arriving at Terok Nor, the mirror counterpart of Deep Space Nine, now under the control of the human rebellion against the Alliance, the three are arrested since the rebellion cannot allow the Alliance to gain such cloaking technology. Wow. They are rescued by Ezri's friend, the mirror counterpart of Quark's rival, Brunt. Brunt brings them to the regent of the Alliance, the mirror counterpart of Worf. They learn that the mirror Kira Nerys, formerly the Alliance's brutal overseer of Terok Nor, now out of favor with the Alliance, is Ezri's lover. Planned the entire affair. The Alliance never intended to release Zeki. Oh, little Zeki. Brunt persuades Worf not to execute the Ferengi immediately, and Rom and Quark are imprisoned with Zek. Kira kills Brunt when he tries to convince her to release them. Ezri, disgusted by Kira's callous murder of her friend, turns against her. Rom is forced to install the cloaking device on the Regent's ship, but despite his cooperation, he and Quark are still sentenced to die at the hands of Mirror Elim Garak. They distract Garak by comparing him to the Garak of their own universe, which delays him long enough for Ezri to arrive and inject him with the poison meant for the Ferengi. Yes, it's all a big joke. Worf has the cloaking device activated, only to find out that Rom has sabotaged the device to drain the ship's power. The powerless Alliance ship is easily overpowered by the rebels' Defiant, forcing Worf to surrender to the rebels. The rebels bring Ferengi back to Terok Nor, from which they can return to their own universe. Whoever wrote this should be dragged out into the street, pilloried, and whipped with a short stick. And that is all Wikipedia has to say about the horrendous episode known as The Emperor's New Cloak.
Sander Hammerslug and Jay Picasso.
Brother!
Hey, welcome.
Oh, J. Picasso.
Yeah, Jay Picasso. Good to see you both.
So we have more of a mirror town bicycle. And so the town bicycle gets taken out for a ride by everyone, including Lita at the end. So, boss, just get into it. Let's talk about the town bicycle in the mirror universe. You ready? Everybody's going to have a ride.
Now, first of all, I'm tired of abusing my mirror universe. There's no profit in it. I don't care what the regular version of me says. It sucks. This whole episode freaking sucks. I'm tired of them ruining the mirror universe. Damn it, Quark. I hate the mirror universe. Let me correct. Let me correct myself. The Mirror is my all-time favorite episode of all the Star Trek, and I hate every single last goddamn time they have soiled it with their crap on Deep Space Nine. I hate it when they go back to the Mirror Universe. Leave it the freaking crap alone. You make me sick. Every one of these episodes of the Mirror Universe makes me want to freaking hurl gawk all over their faces. Screw them, and screw them. How's that for a review? This is a piece of garbage. Now, again, I'm being fair here by letting you know up front my bias. I hate Mirror Universe episodes. Other than one, my favorite all-time Mirror Universe, because they started from get-go in the very first one of these goddamn episodes, blaming the destruction of that universe on Spock.
Yes.
And basically Kirk. So, right there, you've ruined it all.
Well, not only that, the Mirror Universe should never be the comedy episode.
Well, no, they're all comedies because these idiots you're right. But they fundamentally don't understand what the Mirror Universe means. Mirror wasn't a comedy, but you're right. Everyone they've done after that has either been extremely hot, yuck it up with mostly comedy in it, or flat out slapstick comedy. It sucks. It's garbazio from beginning to end. Just go with your notes because I'm just gonna. Okay. I can't even.
Why? This is actually what I put on a piece of paper with a pencil. Why? No comedy alternate universe, as Rom calls it. It's not an alternate universe. What is this? Like, my offspring used to watch a show that had a little Serena in it. It was called Sailor Moon. This isn't an alternate universe. When TOS first explored the idea of the mirror universe, it was like a parallel universe. It was the possibility that was explored in science. Could it be possible? It's not the alternate universe where, new moon tiara power, as my offspring used to watch. So no. This is a horrible outfit on Ezri. She has a pancake butt and she looks like a leather Shar-Pei. She looks ridiculous. Zeki takes the town bicycle for a ride. The town bicycle being Mirror Kira. It is very clear that Zeki and Kira have bumped uglies. And when you're speaking of Zeki, you know that they are extreme uglies that they are bumping. This is some horrendous acting. Be better if season 7 never happened. Ezri also rides the town bicycle, as does Worf. It's really the entire cast at this point. In the alternate universe, it's not even the mirror universe. They call it the alternate universe. And I'm waiting for Sailor Moon to come with her moon tiara magic or whatever it's called. Look, it's a long time since my offspring was little, okay? And then Lita and Ezri have the hots for each other at the end of the episode, and they promise to also bump uglies. So really, it's just, this episode is just Kira having sex with literally everyone. Now even little Zeki. Yes, and yes, JT Kirk. All I think of is bicycle. I want to ride my bicycle. Yeah, sick. Weird. I'm just done with it. Cliches, tired, gross, weird. Just a whole bunch of people who are just hot and heavy to just hump each other, and it's just weirdness, and random people just going off to I don't know. This is complete and utter shite. Why even make a 7th season? Who? No, just no. This is so bad. You can't even rate it. It's so bad.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, oh, that's a lot. I see that, Mark, that you sent me. This is a lot to read, though, man. We got a lot of reviews to take care of. But let's say Bear also commented that we all felt the need, with a small N, to visit the alternate universe one last time. Let's face it. This is Bear, our Stephen Bear. The alternate universe is such a wacky idea, and I don't care what anyone says. Mirror Mirror was a wacky, silly show. Well, you go screw yourself in your face with a freaking phaser on stun, no, on kill, on overload. You jackass piece of filthy trash. No wonder your show sucks. And they were tried in many ways to play with a straight face at first, and Deep Space Nine, as time went on, just because it just became tougher for them. In other words, you don't understand Star Trek. You don't understand Mirror Mirror. So go scruck yourself, you sack of. I don't need to see any more of that. Thank you, Mark. Thanks, Mark. I had the blood pressure down a little bit, buddy. So I'm glad you got it back up there.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Damn it, Mark.
No, anyway, screw. Irish Stephen Bear's a purple chinned idiot.
It's this is just
blue chinned
ridiculous, and it's such horrible cliches. Just and yeah, the hedonism, like the constant hedonism, like everyone is always having sex with everyone, and I'm just saying that for the algorithm, folks. We're all adults here, but unfortunately, I don't want to have any problems with the algorithm. But yeah, that's all that this episode is about. Like, that's all it's about. It's just like who Kira is going to bump uglies with. It's 100% what this episode is. She gets Zeki, she gets Ezri, and then Ezri gets Lita, and then she does Worf.
He goes and he insults the original series to do this crap. So all these shitty DS9 Mirror Mirror Universes episodes they've done are coming out of disrespect for the original, not only the original episode, but the show, original series. So you can doubly suck it, you bunch of twerps.
Yeah.
Go to hell. Burn. That show, original series is so much better than your trash. You what you do is not even worthy of anything done on the original series, including the bad episodes. Suck off. Anyway, so
I was Stephen Bear.
Indeed. So, did you do your notes already?
Yeah, I did. That's all I have to say
Okay.
about this complete and utter shite.
Shite
It's
on it.
just, this is more of the hedonism. It's just more of the, how many threesomes and foursomes and partner swapping
Yeah, bunch of garbage.
and how much can we do? Let's do it all. It's an F. It's an obvious F. I mean, I don't even want to give it a rating at all. It sucks.
It's F minus. I got it F minus, F minus. So many minuses. So it's a Z, really. So, all right, my friends. Now, if you will, any rating you may have of the Emperor's New.
Oh, before we go any further, too.
What?
It's very important for people to realize
Too late
that
now.
everything that they said about how the filth broke ground, it broke barriers. Like, can you see why I'm always saying they didn't watch Star Trek? They didn't watch Star Trek. It's very obvious. They didn't break any ground. I mean, do you see Lita and Ezri at the end of this? For absolutely no reason, they're suddenly in love. And they're going to go and bump uglies. And everybody's bumping uglies with Kira.
Show sucks.
It's just like, yeah, didn't break any new ground. Didn't break any new ground. No new ground.
Everyone, go ahead. I didn't get a fin. That looks like they started. So okay.
It's okay. I'll go get it.
No. They're getting them. But I just want to make sure I got the sentence out so they'd know to start, because now they're probably confused. So get started.
I'm sorry, everyone.
No, that's all right.
It's just you know what I'm saying, though? It's like, the filth is so groundbreaking. What?
They say this show is groundbreaking, but I mean, this look. You guys ripped off Straczynski's Babylon 5, and they did a show better than yours, and that's just Zaffris is right. Whether he's here or not, he's right.
This is like one of those hedonistic resorts that people go to. You know what I mean? That's all this is. No, that's what it is, and and that's all. That's it. It's just like, how many people can you have sex with in a single weekend? I mean, what?
Yeah, but Sander, the difference is Roddenberry didn't do it on the TV show. He did his in private. He said Roddenberry had sex with everybody. Hey, the man messed around, but he didn't. I mean, he didn't do it on it. He didn't film it and put it on TV. And he only, even Kirk only like had the occasional dalliance here and there, but it never affected the show or the stories.
Well,
Right.
it's not only that. Everyone always says that, and it makes me feel weird. I don't know why they do that. Not that I'm like being singling Sandra out. I'm just saying, like, in general, people are always like, "Yeah, well, Gene Roddenberry." But the thing is like, I don't think that Gene Roddenberry slept with more or less, like, I don't people
Right.
than
It was,
anybody else in
yeah.
his generation. Like, when he was in his generation, people were going to like parties where they would pass around like a basket that had keys in it, and whose ever keys you got or that is who you went home with. Like, there, it was free love. People were experimenting, doing all these
True.
things. So, you know, when people are like, "Yeah, well, Gene Roddenberry," I actually think that Gene Roddenberry was probably an angel compared to what was going on in Hollywood at that time with everyone. People were pretty fast and loose back then, and doing some things that would definitely raise eyebrows nowadays.
To me, it's a non sequitur because I don't care if he banged everybody in Hollywood. I don't care if he banged the whole West Coast.
It
He
is a
didn't
non
make it.
sequitur.
He didn't put it on his TV show.
No.
In every episode, even though Kirk, yeah, he fancied a lady every now and then, and he had a little, little Kirk going on there. It never, ever, and it ever was the main focus of the show. Never got in the way of the show, and even wrote it into the show well. And unlike this, which is all they do on this show, so it's absolutely not even comparable at all. But yeah, so to take the shot at Rod, I don't know why you feel like taking the shot at Roddenberry. People like to do, but hey, and by the way, back then, most guys would have wished they could have got as much action as the Gene.
Yeah, plus he was sleeping with Nichelle Nichols. How are you going to feel bad about that?
Yeah,
like, that was, for me, that was like,
Indy.
that was a very good decision on his part. And when he had to choose between Majel and Nichelle, imagine how tough that must have been. Like, have you seen Nichelle Nichols lately? Who wouldn't want to sleep with her? You know what I mean? Like, the woman was hot right up until she passed away. The woman was hot her entire life.
The AI show says D. Alternative titles have Cloak Will Travel and Cloak and Swagger. Nice. Let's see here. An attempt at making a Mirror Universe show with DS9, and they shouldn't have left their own universe. Yes. Indeed. To paraphrase the show Community, this was the snarkiest timeline. Thank you so much for that one, AI show. Jerry Kirk says. I don't know what that symbol means. Exactly. Is that a symbol? Is that a... Well, he rates it something, folks. I don't know what it is. He says the writer's room made Rom. Excuse me.
Oh, that's Omega. That's Omega.
It is Omega.
That's the last letter in the Greek alphabet. That's Omega.
It is an Omega. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry. Okay.
Sorry,
well, that's his rating.
At the chat.
That's his rating, folks. Omega. The writers made Rom dumber than a pack lad. Rom is the representation of the old school Trekkie. This tells you all you need to know on what these quote unquote writers think of us. Frack, this is all so hard.
I should also
say
that's
a good point, JT.
I should also say too, though, that it doesn't just mean the last letter of the alphabet. Like, it also means like alpha, and omega means the beginning and the end.
Yes,
so it's not just like the last letter of the alphabet for the grade, but it's also it means the end.
And I see what he means by putting it there. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. Mr. Angel, the chef, says, "Big fat F. What the hell have I watched, and how can I get it finally erased from my memory? Help me, please. Help make it go away." Thinks of a happy place while crying in a corner. Well said, chef. Well said. Let's see here. Fanty outside, he says, F. Alternate title, Through a Mirror Snarkily. The shame of it, they dedicated this trash to Jerome Bixby. Yeah, I know. That made me sad to see they put Jerome Bixby's name.
Gross.
After this ass has been on record as trashing the episode that Jerome Bixby wrote so brilliantly, Mirror Mirror.
Yeah.
Who wrote, and what a crappy tribute. Boy, howdy. What a crappy tribute. Exactly, Fanty. I'm with you. The fact that they thought that the TOS Mirror Mirror was a hoot is telling. Yes, the fact that the Enterprise was about to commit geocide, that's hysterical, right? Yeah, to a sociopath. You're right. Those idiots, they don't know anything about Mirror Mirror.
Sandra says he was only kidding. Oh, Sandra, we love that you're joking about that. We just to always set the record straight because Sandra, some people have come into the chat and they've used that as like a launching off point for saying how horrible Star Trek is and how awful Gene Roddenberry is and all that stuff. And that's usually how they broach. Well, Gene Roddenberry, but we love you and
you're cool.
Yeah, the second that you say that you're kidding, it's cool.
Yeah, well, it's cool. Yeah, I mean, and look, and it's not even way out there because Roddenberry, look, has admitted he used to have a lot of fun. I have an interview with him on the Inside Star Trek where he said he's kind of pretty much said he liked to mess around and have a good old time back then.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, man, he had his fun. It's a human being, and he was not above any kind of criticisms, and he criticized himself sometimes.
Yeah, and he partied. Like it's not like it's not like he passed away from natural causes. The man partied hard, Matt.
He did.
And if you do a bit of reading on it, you'll see everywhere they spoke about his recreational drug abuse and that it led to his premature death. So this wasn't and when we're saying that sort of thing too, it should also be put in context, right? Like nowadays, the public, they see Stephen King as their champion and tons of jokes about taking a whole bunch of really super hard drugs up to a cabin and just doing that for months and months and months on end and writing horror books. I mean, people write and some people use things to help them write. And that's unfortunate. And musicians are like that as well. But there are many among us who grew up in band and we could not use artificial joy or artificial substances. And certainly I approach my writing that way. I would never take any type of illegal substance or abuse alcohol or whatever to write. So it's a thing, right? But you can't just isolate Gene Roddenberry as though he's supposed to be a god or he's supposed to be more holy or more perfect than everyone else. In context, he was pretty much doing what everybody else was doing, and he died because of it. Sad.
Kal-El says D-. In the past, I've made the assertion that Starfleet really needs to shore up their security to at least try to prevent intrusions from the Mirror Universe. But at this point, they really deserve whatever they get from said universe. What makes this even worse is the fact that Rom had the schematics for the interdimensional transporter on a pad, which Zek gleaned, Zek gleaned the info, yes, which is really ridiculous. From to look into new business opportunities in the Mirror Universe, one wonders if Starfleet had the same information and just decided not to do anything with it. Otherwise, it's standard. Hang on. Got your next one. Hang on a second. Okay. Mirror Universe episode where the characters act as they usually do in that dimension. The only thing that saves this episode for me is getting F is the very brief appearance of Vic Fontaine's. By the way, that's not really, that was kind of silly, I thought, a little bit, because, I mean, I don't know. Why was there a Vic Fontaine in that universe?
Why was a hologram outside of the holographic projector?
He's not a hologram in that universe. That's who he's based on, I guess. But
yeah,
counterpart and the superb performance of Jeffrey Combs. Well, it's Combs. He's always good. as the Mirror Universe Brunt, both of which, yeah, no, he was good. I'll give you that. He was good, but then he's Jeffrey Combs. He's always good. Both of which I enjoyed to a certain extent. It's a fair cop. I understand. Thank you, Kal-El. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, Michael Bickham, you see what I mean though? It's like, Hemingway or you look at like Edgar Allan Poe, like these are guys who drank a lot when they were writing, and it's just for me the reason why I bring it up is because context is everything, and people need to stop isolating Gene Roddenberry on social media and calling him a misogynist and saying all these terrible things about the man and making it seem as though he was this awful human being, when meanwhile not only does everyone do that in that circle of people, but during that time that free love and all that stuff going on, I find it very strange that people only want to isolate Gene Roddenberry and put him in that category when most of the writers that you and I adore abused chemicals or were horrific alcoholics. And died prematurely because of it. And so, yeah. And you want to talk about people who slept with people. Look at Gene Simmons, look at Pablo Picasso. These are, you know what I mean? So I don't understand. It's something Kloppy and I talk about often. I don't understand why they're so fixated on making it seem as though, Gene Roddenberry needed to be some sort of a saint in order for them to leave him alone on social media. I think they just attack him just for the sake of it, and I think it's ignorance. There's no, it's totally unfair. Anyway, sorry.
Shooter says D+. The Negus in the Mirror Universe, inconceivable. Of all of the DS9, I think that's what he wanted. DS9, maybe not. DS9 Mirrorverse episodes. This one is at least a bit of fun. The goofy Ferengi story that makes it palatable. That makes it palatable. The goofy. Okay, sorry. We got. Let's see. We could have got Jadzia back for a cameo. Instead, they kill her off screen. Boo! And of course, Mira Esri. The center stage, at least, I like the bad girl look. Shooter number 3. Let's see. Wait, Vic is real here, and they killed him off? Boo! Didn't we have a cloaking device that could, a cloak that could be held in one hand in an early season? I don't know. But the Klingon version is much bigger. Nope, don't buy it. Let's see here.
Right, GT Kirk, pancake butt.
Rom Space Knight saves the day, and Esri and Kira kiss. Well, that's something, right? And so ends the DS9 Mirrorverse saga. Ends. Time to burn my bridges and move on as Zek. Goodbye. All right. Well, thank you, Shooter.
Thanks, Shoot. Pew, pew, pew.
Yes, sir. Let's see here. Jill says, wow, five, Jill. That's a lot to say. F, this episode. At least Crossroads tried to take things seriously. This one is a deliberate farce with poor attempts at humor, yet with marvelous at acting despite the inanity of the dialogue. True. For instance, Worf plays an inept and rage-filled villain with a powerful force that sells his actions. It wasn't fun seeing him as a joke, but Klingons probably would find value in Ferengi cuisine. It used to require an accident with the likelihood of recurrence extremely remote, but now it is absolutely no problem at all to hop between the original universe and the mirror universe, and the mirror one rather. Yeah, it's so dumb. This was contrived and silly, while some good moments, like Nog speaking for the audience and explaining how nothing of anything made any sense, the wackiness was too much to believe any of it. Mirror was about Kirk overcoming the horrors of that universe and sticking to his principles, even with it when it was difficult. Every DS9 Mirror episode fails to achieve this. Thank you, Jill. Absolutely, I'm right there on the same page with you. The great Eric K says, A brings you back. Thundar, Ariel, and Okla. The Ukla, the Mock defeat the evil wizard and save the enslaved humans. F for the DS9. This Kira sleeps around as much as the other one. Just ick.
Yep.
Yes, well, I love that Thundar show. So thank you for bringing Thundar. That helps a little bit. Eric K, you the best, man.
So funny. So
The great,
funny.
the wonderful Fiona says, negative F. The amount of disrespect and narcissism that these producers exhibit is infuriating. I will just say this: it's a good thing. It's a good thing her name is Nana Visitor because everyone visits her. Whoa!
Yeah, Fiona,
Nice.
isn't it horrible that they do that? And then they turn around afterwards and in the filth and they make it seem as though they're breaking new ground. When here, not only is it 100% accepted, but in a very hedonistic way, so that you don't even have like a partner who you love and who you're loyal to. Everyone's just sleeping with everyone. And so, yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. This show started the filth. It's true. It did.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Well, what's his name worked on this show? I think for the guy who started the filth initially. So, Lisa says F. I couldn't stay focused while watching this trash.
Yep.
Every alternate reality of DS9 that I have watched is a farce, literally. To show acting range by playing evil bad, their acting gets worse, by the way. Yeah, I always hate that kind of crap.
The acting is horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous.
Enigmatic Dropper says F. There's nothing redeeming about this episode. It goes without saying that it should never have been made. Why didn't Klingon Alliance vessels in the Mirror universe have cloaking devices? After all, they have Ezri's. They have Ezri's when Jadzia's, that are simultaneously killed in both universes. I'm overthinking this. Well, they didn't think at all, so you already beat them.
Yeah.
Who couldn't be bothered picking holes in this piece of moldy Swiss cheese? Consign it to the dumpster. That's where it belongs. Indeed.
I totally agree.
Michael Beacom says, with a $5 super chat, thank you, Michael. You're too kind. He says, like Zathras, I have said since back in the day that DS9 was sparked by, but inferior to, Babylon 5. After 6.5 seasons of DS9, I feel vindicated. Absolutely. You should indeed.
Me too.
Michael Beacom's review is right here. Oh, there. Okay, it was in the other way. It was in the. He says F. Ferengi, comedy, and the Mirror universe, undigestible dreck. Evil Ezri. And she's smoking hot. I take it back. A. Page 644. Nicole DeBer asks, Cap, can I play this character all the time? I wouldn't mind that, says Michael. Seriously, though, just crap at every turn. Andy Robinson hated the way they made Mira Garrick a moron, and I also must agree. Yeah, really an F minus. Well said, sir. Simply Steve says F. RTG. Real title. Everyone's broken a mirror. There you go. Bad luck as more Mirrorites appear. Disappointment ensues. Mira Kira and everybody else as lovers of Mira me. Once shame on you, twice shin kicks to you. And our final review of this every night and of this twerp episode, the great chief engineer. If you're listening, Mark, pop in whenever you feel like it, buddy. F. I fell asleep watching this travesty. After reading what Burr thought about the Mirror universe, no wonder this was a disaster. P.S. Kara and Isri don't have any uglies. Whoop.
Mark, that's why having a text is so important. And that's why, it's important to have Paula M. Block around. You definitely want to get the truth, and you want to get it unfiltered. so that you can really see what these people thought, what they were really trying to do. And yeah, it matters. It definitely matters to have a good text.
And hi,
Oh.
everyone. Yes, it is true. They do not have any uglies.
Thanks, Kal-El. Means rating. Gotcha. Sorry. It's
Yeah,
been a
Lisa's
long
like,
night.
Mark had 2 Fs. Yeah, it's rare, but it's got a sting, right? When I give something an F, it's a real. Not that your Fs are any
Yeah.
lesser, but yeah, it's
No,
just
we're pretty effy.
I mean, it's just a travesty. I mean, I'm watching. I'm like, do I want to keep watching the show? And as I think I put in the chat to Fiona, and I've mentioned before, I stopped watching the show at some point. I can't remember exactly when, and maybe sporadically watch some episodes. But now I can see why. I mean, it's just. I mean, the last season of TNG was. Didn't win any awards, but I mean, this is. I mean, the travesty what they did to the Mirror Universe in this one was just ridiculous. It's like kids putting in a high school sketch, like let's have some fun and just do some silly things because we can do whatever we want to. And then to put Vic Fontaine in it, as you'd mentioned before, Collaborating Times, that was a hologram in the episode. I mean, they didn't even bother to explain like he, maybe he
obviously he's
created
alive in that universe, but I'm
yeah,
still
or like
silly.
he created the Vic Fontaine hologram somehow, or he was a singer and it was a cop. They didn't even they're too lazy even to put in any kind of explanation
Well,
there.
it's
So
not only that. Every time someone is killed in the Mirror Universe, which they're calling the alternate universe, every
yeah,
time somebody's killed there, it's always done with jocularity. And so what ends up happening is you're not invested in the lives of those who exist in the quote unquote alternate universe, because the killing happens too easily and too often and with no remorse. And if you make it comical, you know what I mean? Like when you have Kirk in the Mirror Universe and then you have regular Kirk, what you have is you have to be careful of what you say before you can figure out whether or not he comes from this place where he must be harsher, he must be more he must be more, I don't know, for lack of a better word, evil. You feel the same way about Spock. On both sides, people are very careful trying to feel out all of these characters that have been switched, because you're trying to see what's different in them. And in
there's an
this,
intelligence to those characters, even
right,
though
and
yeah, like it's
here that none of that is happening, and it's just so dumb that they're just the polar opposite, and immediately, and it becomes comedic, and then they're killed comedically, and so there's no risk. And when there's no investment and there's no risk, what are you watching? You're watching garbage.
And that's what the block text said, that he wanted to write it as a comedy. Thought the Mirror Universe. And sorry, Clever Times. I knew I was going to get your blood pressure, but I had to send that quote when I read it. I mean, it was just unbelievable that anyone could think that the Mirror Universe is, to write that, and then that joke you wrote about. You do really have to let it go, relax your blank a little bit, not be so blank about it. It's just. Unbelievable and he's a wackadoodle kind of guy, but a lot of times artists are wackadoodles in a good way, and that's that creative force. But there's something special a lot of times about that creative genius or creative spark. But wow, I mean, just to think that the Mirror Universe is a wacky idea. I mean, what was he taking when he watched Mirror? I never thought that was a wacky idea. I mean, it was one of the most interesting episodes of Star Trek, and had you on your edge of your seat at every moment, wondering what's going to happen. I never thought there was any wackiness at all to the Mirror Universe. There's no laughs in that episode.
Why is it funny that
he called it silly,
that there's a possibility that hundreds, if not thousands, of other realities exist, and that we'll never see them or realize them? And would it be possible? How is that wacky? Like, what does this guy think is wacky? Like, what's he smoking that makes him think that's wacky?
Yeah,
it was.
Or at least
have you ever read The Fold?
Yeah, or do another parallel universe.
That's a great book. The Fold is a great book, and in no way is it wacky. People want to know, like, how many other realities are there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not a
Just in theory, yeah.
physicist. I'm not an astrophysicist. So, it's difficult. You're going to grope around for the correct diction to articulate what you're trying to say. But there's nothing humorous about it. Stephen Hawking talks about how it wouldn't be possible. So even if that exists, it wouldn't be possible for us to confirm it. Do you know what I mean? So how is that wacky fun? Wacky fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Stephen Hawking is known for his wacky fun ideas. Black holes.
Yeah, like
what?
Destroy the whole universe. And didn't he say that we might not want to meet the aliens if they ever show up? They might be in need of our resources. Yeah. So.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's just this show that they were. It's clear that they were hired to do another season. They were just going by the numbers. The only thing the only thing that they cared about was their stupid war stuff. The other time we got to fill out 20-something episodes. We'll do some smaller types of story, which is normally okay. But they'll just they had no really ideas on how to fill up time. They didn't have any interesting types of stories. They were tied down to this war business, so you can only do so much that way. They should. I don't know. They didn't care. They're really more concerned with their war, but they knew not every episode could be about the war until the last chunk of the season, which we're getting. We got a few more episodes before we get to the war. And by the way,
I was just gonna say your averages, since I got my spreadsheet going. Clobbering Times average is 1.18, so that's a D is 1.0, and Raquel has a 1.01, which is an exact D rating. And I'm much, I don't know what's going on, but I have a 1.91. I guess I liked a couple of episodes, but it's still you know.
To the agony booth. Off you go to the agony booth. You go.
We calls them like we sees them. But like the whole war thing, I love Star Wars. I love the old Battlestar Galactica. Star Trek did some great stories. Original Trek did some great stories that commented on war, that were about war, just not the Federation at war. Other planets and different things like that. And it wasn't a weekly thing. Now they got kind of stuck with it. And look, as much as I love Enterprise, I wasn't very thrilled that they spend a season doing it on there either. Even though in fact, all the best episodes of that season 3 with the Xindi arc, which was one whole season, for me, all the best episodes were the ones that were kind of peripheral to that. They weren't really dealing with the war directly. There were some almost like standalone episodes that they did in that season. Those were the best ones. The arc kind of like, not that they had some good ones in there, don't get me wrong, but the arc, I was still kind of like, I don't know, man. I like the more Trek-ish episodes.
I didn't mind that third season as much on Enterprise. Rewatching it and streaming it all together, yeah. But it gets universally panned. But I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it flowed together much nicer streaming it too. I think without having to wait, because some of those arcs are back to back to back. So.
I want my episode. I want my Trek episodic, folks. That's just what I want. Yeah. That's the way I need it. That's the way it is. And me, it's for the best. Like people trash those first 2 seasons of Enterprise. I love them. I mean, they had their faults, and not every episode's great. But I can't think of one that I really hated. Maybe 1 or 2. I can't think of. And the second season, same deal. Most of them were really good. And then you get that arc season of Xindi, and it kind of hurt it a little bit for me. I liked it. But I kind of preferred it. I would have preferred it if it didn't at least take up a whole season. And some of my favorite episodes were the ones that dealt outside or worked around the arc. And in the 4th season, which I loved a lot as well, they got a little bit too bogged down in these multi-parted stories, which kind of, as good as they were, I would have preferred the one-offs. Still would have preferred 1 episode stories.
Yeah, did they do a lot of 2 and 3 parters?
Like they did, and they're good, but they're really good. But like
Data's,
it still falls into too much of that. What's that?
Well, Data's dad is back, or he's playing scientist.
Yeah, that one, the Augments episode. Yeah,
those are pretty good.
3-part. I mean, they're good. Don't get me wrong. I like them. I still personally like the format the way it was in the first 2 seasons.
Yep.
I mean, it's just
And plus, the time travel is a killer too. So
and Fiona and I, that's one thing we disagree on. I love Trippy's my favorite character, but she says it's a lot better than she remembers it. That's cool. I mean, Trip's my favorite, but that's okay.
Oh no, Trip is my offspring's favorite.
Oh, Trip's. I mean, I love Archer, but Trip. Look at that super sticker. Thank you so much, Jill.
it's a pair with a love kiss.
Oh, thank you, Jill. Appreciate you. You're too kind. Thank you so much, dear.
I'll show
but
it.
Fiona, that's neither. But Fiona, that's neither here nor there. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. So there you go.
Let's show.
But yeah, it's just that was a show. I mean, even some of those early ones, got some good ones. And yes, Kal-El enjoyed Enterprise because it was a return to the form of Star Trek after their latest attempt to flesh out the filth, starting in 1995. Still, I really didn't care for that show's series finale. Well, the series finale was horrible. The series finale is a piece of trash, but I love everything before that.
You don't Riker Chef?
No, that was garbage. I see that. I fundamentally disagree with Fiona.
So bad.
I disagree with that, Fiona. I love Trip and Malcolm the way they are, and I like their relationship. I think that's one of the cool bits. So anyway,
just wait until we watch it, and then
Yep.
I'll prove it. I'll bring
tell you
the
what,
receipts.
let's take a vote now. Would you rather stop reviewing DS9 and then not review Voyager? Just skip to Enterprise next week? Just kidding.
Not allowed to do that. I got to finish my spreadsheets.
Who votes for that?
I almost said I did say that to you in the private chat. Like, do I have to keep watching these?
No, you don't. I'm just kidding, Lisa. I love those sound effects.
Hold on, torpedo. Away.
How many episodes do we have left?
Too many.
We've got let's see, how many episodes? We get 26. 25 and 26, I guess. It's one episode, right? I guess.
What?
They break them up into two. DS9, so we've got
No, we
not
got
that. Yeah. No, I'm just saying the total
yeah,
number of
Michael
episodes.
Beacom. I'm tempted, man. Thank you.
No, you're not tempted. We're doing the whole thing linear style.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Hey, yeah, that's a good point. Let's be like the wormhole aliens and just jump over to Enterprise and so time not linear. Thank you, Michael. Good idea, Michael.
No. We're
14 episodes to go.
Yeah.
Jill, Katie would not be happy, and I love Katie, but she might not be happy when we review Voyager.
And Lisa likes Voyager too.
Oh, do you, Lisa? Oh, Lisa, you don't want us to skip Voyager?
But Lisa is like my offspring. The reason why Lisa likes it is because she says that it's science fantasy.
Okay. No, look, you can like whatever you want to like up in you.
Yeah.
That's cool. So,
and I
Lauren,
accept
at least.
that. I think that's a decent argument. You hear from these DS9 people all the time about how we have to accept that DS9 is a drama. Well, then why can't we accept from the Voyager people that they accept it as science fantasy instead of science fiction?
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Lisa, I did not know that, but don't hold it against us. You know, I finally went back and watched Voyager, and I like some of it. You know. I'm tell you honestly, I will probably like it better than Deep Space Nine now because say what you want about it. It's not just. I mean, I know they had some war stuff in it, but it's not. At least they try to have episodic science fiction adventures, and if it comes, and if they if they put a little fantasy in there, that's okay. I don't care, but that kind of stuff doesn't bother me really. You know.
I did get in trouble and I've said this many times, when my wife walked in the room when 7 of 9 was in her cat suit, and she's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Dear, those are her implants, her Borg implants." she could the outfit. I mean, that was kind of ridiculous. You know why they did it, and there was a lot of friction on the cast over that. But Yeah,
Yeah.
that costume was crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a big Neelix guy either, Lisa, but you know, yeah,
no, Neelix wasn't that good.
I
Yeah,
like
and
the doctor.
he's my favorite. Yeah, the doctor. What is state the nature of your medical emergency? He
Thank
ended
you,
up being a very
ED.
interesting character. Yeah.
All right, everybody. I'm not going to skip to Enterprise, but I might go watch one tonight or something, or watch a Real Trek episode because you know this watching the show called Star Trek that has no Star Trek in it gets me in a Star Trek mood, and I have to go watch me some Star Trek. Unlike I'm not as unfortunate as Raquel, who has to stay in order. I by the way, since we're doing this, you don't do your old way of doing it, right? Where you watch
Nope.
the old show. No,
But
okay.
but it wasn't this show that made me stop doing it, because I still watched through the first year.
So when is the last time you got to watch Real Trek, the original series? When we were reviewing it?
Well, the last vacation that we had, because I watched all the movies.
No, but I'm talking about the show, though.
Oh, the show?
like-
It's been a year.
Oh, no. We got to get back to it.
Yeah.
Thank
you
you,
can't
Bubba.
watch them out of order, though. That's Raquel's. We can't.
Yeah, that's my problem. But
you can't
that's
just
because,
put on like Galileo 7.
yeah, but that's because that's
do
been
a
the
random
ritual.
number generator.
But once I started seeing what the awful people were saying to Vulture magazine and the Hollywood Reporter and the stuff they were putting on social media, like the stuff the stuff they said in their interviews and the things they said on Twitter were horrifying to me. Absolutely horrifying to me. Could you imagine if Gene Roddenberry were alive to hear that that people were going to die in Texas and that this was going to be a horrific natural disaster where, you know, people were going to experience suffering and property loss and death and maiming, and that person put on the internet they're getting what they deserve because of who they voted for. Like, you have to understand that this has had a huge impact on me. I have watched Star Trek the entire time that I've been alive. And so Gene Roddenberry and this whole philosophy, like I discovered Spinoza through Star Trek. Like, for me, like, that changed everything. It had a huge impact on me. I can't just say that it didn't. The weird, sick crap that they've been saying all these years on social media has had an impact on me. I don't know if I feel the same way anymore. I don't know if I can. And not because they said stuff about their own personal lives or things they believed politically and stuff like that. It isn't limited to that. It's also the way that they talked about Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, and even being a part of Star Trek. Like, it's all together. I just don't know if I'll ever be the same.
Sorry.
Yeah, and how twisted could you be
wait.
to? Oh, go ahead, Clever.
No, I just want to get this real quick. Bubba Doom, thank you so much for the super chat. The last episode still chokes me up. Kira and Jack. By the way, hello, Crease. Welcome.
How come Parker Luck, what's that? Matt Boyd said that we missed a comment from him earlier tonight. I don't remember that.
I can't believe that you missed my comment for an early today. We don't miss
a member chat.
Parker, what was it? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but if you tell us what it was, sometimes they get torched by. I mean, if we missed your comment, what was it? Was it for a review or something? Or we see zillions of comments that go by that we can't answer them all. So if you could be more specific.
Yeah.
We don't ignore anybody, but.
Bubba Doom said Jake.
Oh, Jake. Okay, got you. Kira and Jake. Okay, I got you, Bubba. There you go. To what do you refer, Parker? Did you have a review earlier or something?
Yeah.
But as you can probably imagine, since we have a lot of people here, we don't respond to every comment because it's just not possible.
We can't.
But we do cover every review when we're reviewing episodes, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
And when it comes
Parker
to stuff
does have a very cool icon, I must say, though.
Does he?
Spider-Man, yeah.
Oh yeah, very cool. Love it. But Parker, hopefully, and again, if it were a one of the reviews or something, I guess it's possible we could have missed it. But we only know review. It's tough to tell all what's a review since we get so many chats. Usually they have like people say it'll start with a rating, and they'll have like 1 of 2, 1 of 5, whatever it is. So we'll know it's a review. Otherwise, it's tough to tell. So no one would definitely miss your comment on purpose. That's for sure, my friend.
Yeah, for sure.
We're glad to
If you
have
want
you
to put
here.
it up, if
you'd like to put it up now, if it's
yeah.
I'd be happy to answer it because we're about to get out of here anyway. But
yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway, we would never do that intentionally.
No,
As a
no,
matter of fact,
no.
back when we first started this show, people didn't even put the chat on the marquee or fully engage them and have full conversations with them. It was mostly just like people who wanted to be famous on YouTube talking to one another and basically ignoring the chat. So Clobby and I we wanted to make it like being in a room full of Trekkies, and so we pride ourselves on involving everyone in the conversation. So sorry that we missed it, and if you want to put it back up, or if you recall what you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
yeah.
And
Hungry Boy did a really cool picture of Doctor Strange, so I'm assuming that's okay to show, right, Hungry Boy? That he's Mr. Angel was asking me to show it, which I know it's Star Trek, but I think it's okay. Hungry Boy,
yeah,
just
smart to ask.
Usually on comics night, but
the comics night, I don't know. Is it Hungry Boy?
Mr.
Angel was asking. I know, but I'm deferential to the chef, so
if the chef wants to see it, okay. So, I mean,
Hungry says, "Yep, show away."
Show away.
Okay,
right,
even though it's comics night, I must reiterate, but I mean, on
yeah, we'll show it on comics night.
No, if you want to do it now, I mean, just do it quick. I mean, we're kind of about to get out of here.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah,
we're rushing that now.
Sorry, blame me.
Yeah, I'm blaming you because you brought it up.
Well, Chef has it he's got it in the chat, so yep.
Oh, well,
yeah.
I'm blaming Chef too then, but I can't blame Chef because we like Chef. You're the hired help here. We don't. We hired you for nothing,
right? Where did this go? There we go. Here it is. Yep.
Bring the show to a complete
Bring
derailment.
Derailed.
Well, I mean,
hey, we suffered through enough.
Night.
We suffered through enough episodes tonight, right?
Well,
so
if Fiona wants to see it, that's good enough for me. I'm just saying.
Okay. Here we go.
It's not a comics night. Yes, Crease. Hello.
I'm breaking the rules here. I'm going to be
first of all, before
all
you
night.
do that. Oh, well, now, all right. Excellent. Wow, Hungry Boy, it looks cool.
Most excellent.
He said that for okay. Oh, he made that for him.
Well, look, there's spaceships in the back there. Yeah, poor Chef.
Nice.
Yep, from Hungary. Yep, it's very, very nice. Yep.
Cool.
Nice stuff. Very nice work. Before we continue,
let's get back to Star Trek.
Parker said, "I was saying that all of tonight's episodes are trapped in the mirror universe, and that the TNG episode." Yesterday's Enterprise was rather awesome. Well, I like that episode as well, my friend.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah. But like I said, we kind of focus on the reviews here, Parker. But we appreciate that. I mean,
yeah,
I think I may have actually did see you write that, but everybody writes a lot of things and I can't get to all of you. Understand? It's just
we try though. We really try.
When we're doing an episode, we stay on the reviews in the episode. So, but I hear you. Thank you. And, anyway, but that is some nice work, Hungry Boy. And thanks for showing us that he made that for, oh, there we go. Look, he said, this is getting a place of honor in my office. Hungry Boy, thank you.
Aw.
And Snail Messiah, thank you. He's thanking Snail Messiah.
Nice.
All right,
Very
Fiona.
Nice.
Uh-oh, puppy is sick.
Oh, no.
Spitting up. Oh, we got to run. Love you guys. We'll love you.
Oh, my gosh. That's
love
not
you,
good.
Fiona.
I hope your puppy's okay.
Yes. Yes, hope the puppy's good. So, yeah, I hope the puppy's good there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. We like puppies around here.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, my friends, what a night, huh?
Yes.
As
Just
always.
like a whole bunch of crap, Captain.
Yeah, but fun crap. You guys make it fun here for us when the episodes are poopy.
Yes.
It's at least fun. And I want to say something serious about that for a second. Nobody sets out to dislike something because there are people who don't know us, and look, a lot of people look as number one talks about a lot. A lot of people really love Deep Space Nine, and if they were to not know us, they would come along and see us beating up on it. They probably wouldn't like us too much, and I can understand that. I guess. I mean, maybe their gut reaction would be that, and not everybody's that way. By the way, I don't. If I came upon a show out of the blue, YouTube channel, and it was some show I really liked a lot, and they were beating up on it, maybe I probably wouldn't listen. I don't know. Maybe I'd go, but I wouldn't really. I'd say they're entitled to their opinion. It's no big deal. It wouldn't upset me or anything. At the same time, would I become the big fan of the show? I don't know. So, but most of us here know each other now. You've all been here a lot. We understand. We're all on the same wavelength, whether we agree on the episodes or not. So you understand where we're coming from. We're coming from an honest place of we love Star Trek, but we're critically analyzing the episodes there within. And I just want to say that no one wants to hate any episode. At the same time, and they say in a sense, it's almost turning a negative into a positive in that we honestly don't like the episode or things about it. And yet we're going to sit here and try to make it as fun as we can to talk about those negatives that we wish weren't true. We wish we thought it was the greatest episode ever.
Yeah.
But we want to, if we're gonna at least have fun with it. And because since this is entertainment, it is a TV show, and it's something. I mean, it's a lot more. Star Trek is a little bit more than a TV show. Nevertheless, bottom line is it has to work on a lot of levels of entertainment and art. We're gonna at least, even if we hate an episode, let's have some fun with it. Let's hope the next one's better. That's all you can do. And the fun of it is us hanging out, discussing it, whether we agree or not, and kind of joking around a little bit and having, also keeping it on a level of, again, keep on fun. And that's what we do here. So, yes, we dog an episode out pretty good. But at the same time, we can laugh at it. And we can laugh, and that's just the way. And thank you, Bubba Doom. I appreciate that. I mean, we don't always agree.
You should also tell them too, like when you and I first met and we first started doing this show, one of the biggest accusations that we used to face as people from Star Trek on Twitter, Clobby and I talked about this for the whole first year that he and I were hanging out, is this idea that we were in some type of Star Trek cult and that we only liked the old stuff, that we had closed minds, and there's no way that we would ever, say anything bad about the stuff we liked, and we were just rejecting the new stuff because we just wanted to reject the new stuff. And and Clobby and I were involved in several conversations where we just told people, no, that's not true. We've always been like this. When TNG first came out, Clobby and I weren't sure. Many people, I'm sure Mark is the same way. Many people weren't enthusiastic. We weren't sure about all of this.
Apprehensive.
Yeah, you were.
Except we knew that Gene was involved. So
yeah, we knew Gene was involved. So one thing too that I want to say is Clobby and I criticize, but at the same time, Clobby and I have told the truth from the very beginning about how we feel about Star Trek. We have never tried to portray like that we think that the 735 is perfect. It's not. And so Clobby always used to say to people, you know what, you got to call balls and strikes. And I really liked that he was like that. It's one of the reasons why he and I became close friends. But we should also say that, right? Like times have changed in the last few years. Twitter's been moving around, but there was a point where people like Clobby and I weren't even allowed to talk on Twitter. Like people would they would descend upon you with 500 or 600 bots and crazy people to say all this stuff. And you were like, no. And they wouldn't listen. So he and I believe in healthy criticism that comes with evidence. We don't just, he and I never say, oh, that's crap. I just don't like it because I just don't like it. He and I take a very academic angle on it. We come and we bring receipts. We talk about why we don't like something, and we respect the opinions of others. But he and I alone at the beginning of this? Yeah, we kind of were, because of that weird climate that used to exist on Twitter and YouTube. And it's changed now, but just don't ever forget that Clobby and I were two of the people who stepped forward first to say, no. Let's just tell the truth about the good, the bad, and the ugly in Trek.
Indeed. Mr. Angel, take it easy, buddy. Great to have you here.
Good night, Chef.
Good night, Mr. Angel.
Sander, no, sir. We will never review SCD or P Hard or Strangled Nude Worms. But thanks for asking. Yeah. I mean, it's a fair question.
And Lower Decks. Add Lower Decks to that, too.
We only review Star Trek here.
Yeah.
That's not none of the, those aren't Star Trek. Those are corporate Trek that happen to sport the label of Star Trek. So,
yep.
But thank you, though. Let's see.
Star Trek, the original series, had a corporate season as well, which we equally despise and call it we call that a corporate season as well.
Yeah. It was, but it's still 10 times better than any of the crap we reviewed tonight, most of it.
Yep.
Most of it. And let's see here. We're about to get out of here. If I happen upon someone on YouTube that berates a show I like, and it doesn't bother me. It's only when the audience is insulted directly for disagreeing. That I take issue with. Well, yeah. Yeah, and I'm just saying, though, I think initially, though, if you land somewhere and they're dogging the hell out of a show you really like, it's not going to be particularly appealing to stop and to hang around. So I can understand, like, if someone I'm sure plenty of people pop in or lurk for a second and they say, well, they're talking bad about Deep Space Nine. Screw them. I can understand. That's probably happens. And look, but people who know us are different or got to know us by hanging out with us. And let's face it, if you started anywhere near the beginning and we were talking about those first two seasons of Trek, it was pure nirvana. We were loving so much of it. And we became friends with a lot of you even back then. But if you popped in at other times, it depends, but if you popped in right now and you're the biggest Deep Space Nine fan, you might not like us too much. And we'll hope you'd stay anyway, because you can get in this chat like everyone else and write a completely different opinion, and it's fine. As long as you're cool and you're, but I can understand. I'm just saying, because we're brutal, but this is not like binging the show and then saying, man, that's a really good show. This is us breaking it into pieces and each week and reviewing blocks of it and having to speak frankly about our opinions, not just saying, yeah, that's a pretty good show. And then we lightly converse about it. Yeah, but now we actually have to break them down into what makes them work or what makes them not work. And for us as a show. And it has been different than the other times I've watched the show. And Parker said, and we're about to get out of here. Let's see what Parker said, because he's new here, kind of. It's like you're having fun with your greatest love of entertainment, and there's never anything wrong with that. Heck, I loved Spider-Man for such a long time, but since OMD, it's terrible. OMD?
One More Day.
One More Day. Oh, One More Day is probably the filth of Spider-Man for sure. Actually, Clone Saga for some people, One More Day for others. So, yeah, totally with you. Totally with you there, Pete, and Parker. Yes. So
and both Clobberin Times and I are banned by Dan Slott, so we're very proud of that.
Yes, we're
Even
proud.
though I've never interacted with them in a negative way.
Cub Scout Master.
Yes.
Cub Scout Master. You blocked a Cub Scout Master.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Next
even know
time
who
I see him
that
at
person
Comic-Con,
is.
I might go mention that to him. Yeah.
Why?
You blocked a Cub.
You blocked me.
You blocked me. I
Princess
didn't
Peach
even
is
get my
okay.
insult in.
She ate some trash Thai food that didn't work well. She's going to be fine. Okay, good. That's good. Good, Fiona. Glad to hear about that. And listen, one more, then we'll get out of here. I guess for me, it's because that while I do like certain shows, they don't define me or make up my entire identity, so I never feel personally attacked. And there's the key. Look, I guess when I was younger and someone said something negative about something I liked, I took it personally because I was a kid. But I'm to the point now. I've heard people, and I've been this way for a while now. Someone will go out, like take us like one of my favorite movies, for example, or favorite TV shows, or favorite whatever, and someone like really going off on it. If it's funny, I'll laugh. I'll be like, "Wow, that's pretty good," and or they'll tell me they really hate like a movie I love, and I might go, "Wow, really? You hate that? Oh my goodness!" It doesn't bother me one bit. I'm not offended. I don't care, and it can lead to an interesting conversation because I'll go. I've met plenty of people who dislike this. But on the other hand, some movies, man, I've never met anyone that didn't like that movie. Wow, really? And why didn't you like it? I mean, to me, that's interesting. I mean, it's just a matter. It's kind of fascinating.
Was it one of your friends who didn't like Aliens? Was it Flash? I don't know.
Oh, Flash, and put it on his most hated movies list. Aliens.
Yeah, Aliens.
Movies.
Yeah,
I've never met anyone who didn't love Aliens.
Like,
and that was a great movie.
How's that possible? Yeah.
Yeah, that was when we did our hated movies list. So, but there are a lot of people that take it personally and. Like you say, I did this. Why are you taking it personally? You didn't make the show. I mean, you do love it, and that's great. But, yeah. So there, we just want to. Well, bottom line is, we want everyone to feel welcome, whether they agree or not. And a lot of it is in good fun. We all realize at the end of the day, as to employ a cliche, it's a TV show. So. And all that said, I want to thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. Man, you guys make it so much fun. Look how long we ran tonight just after show. And I'm so sorry to keep you here all so long here. So we're going to run out of here now. But first, before we do that, we'll take care of some business. Before I do my show notes and shout outs, I want to go to my wonderful first officer so that she can have some closing words. Number one.
Well, thank you so much, boss. I want to thank each and every single person who came to the chat tonight. Thank you, 735ers, clobberers, clobberettes, clobberooskies, Trekkies, nerds, geeks, dorks, however you label yourselves. I want you to know, each and every one of you, how much I enjoy your company. Just this beautiful buzz of conversation. We're nothing without you. You guys make all of this happen, and it's outstanding. You guys are the greatest conversationalists, and it is so fun to be here for 3 or 4 hours to just talk about Star Trek. What magic each and every one of you creates. Truly, that it's true. All of your voices create that choir, and it's just remarkable. And I'm so honored, and I know so is Clobby, to have you here for that. I want to thank all the wrenches. Thank you so much for your hard work tonight. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for helping us keep the community running ship shape. I want to thank my Patreon subs. I have a new book coming out, and I must thank them. These are the people who are backing my book. They're the most wonderful human beings. Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter from Mars, Cardinal Sin, Shooter, pew pew. Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, Eric K, and Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, the Erudite Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, damn it, Mark, Jill, Maximum Redstone, JJ Cook, Dabman and the Dabman Clan, and Lord and Lady Thoth and their wonderful little baby beagle. Thank you so much. Also want to thank Mark for popping in and just being such a great friend. He does so much for us behind the scenes. He's just a good friend to one and all. We all love him very much. Please make sure you give him a follow. And last but certainly not least, Clobby, I love you. You're one of my best friends in the whole wide, crazy, weirdo world. I had a fabulous time tonight with you, with Mark, and with everyone in the chat. And thank you for creating this space for us. We all love you very, very much, honey.
Well, I love you right back, and I appreciate you so much. Chief Engineer, the great Mark D with the C, thanks so much for being here, man, and all you do. Appreciate you. Any final words?
Well, thank you, Raquel, and I just put Raquel's Patreon in. So
is something after your mic?
If you can. Oh, my mic not working?
No, it's just sounds weird.
Oh, that's right. I'm right up. I'm right next to the mic now. It should be.
It's like a big.
Okay, now or.
Like, what do you think, Raquel? Sounds kind of out there, doesn't it?
Oh, that's weird.
Sounded better earlier.
Your mic is completely pooched.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
like you're far back or something, but you're right up to
Yeah,
it. Huh?
right. I'm right
And
next.
also,
Let me check
you're
myself.
wet in a tunnel. You're wet in a steel tunnel somewhere.
How about now? You there? Are
Testing.
you there?
Testing.
There
Here we
you are.
Oh,
What happened?
hello. Welcome back. Welcome back.
There.
Chris must have messed up, I guess. I guess
Who?
Crisp, the noise canceller.
Oh, okay.
Did you get too far away from your mic and it just decided to
Maybe
cancel you?
because I was going to show my Doomsday Machine, so maybe that's
Well,
what
you
Oh,
canceled yourself.
what it
Look
was.
what
I
you
canceled
did.
myself. Jeez, the engineer's always changing things. Just leave things alone. But
Right,
anyway,
so-
I was gonna show the Doomsday Machine because this is available on my Patreon right now. So you can get this
Yay!
via my Patreon. And thank you to my Patreon shooter and Brian Hepburn, much appreciated. And now I've got memberships and since I got monetized, so really appreciate that. So let me put the Patreon in there. Go check it out if you want to get a Doomsday Machine. I just hopefully I won't get too many orders because I got to keep the Galaxy safe. So if we get too many, that could get dangerous. So, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun hanging out. As we always say, some stinkeronies tonight, but a lot of fun being here. And thank you for letting me pop in and have some fun on this episode tonight. So yeah, great times as always on Saturday night. And just passed over Spidey. I guess he didn't take out Spidey. That's good. Could get dangerous there. Yep. So if you'd like a 3D printed Doomsday Machine like this one, check out my Patreon. And thanks to everyone in the chat. That was a lot of fun tonight. Great hangout. And check out Sunday night Geeker will be happening 10 Eastern tomorrow night, and who knows what we'll end up talking about.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks for being here, dude. Let's see here. We have what's going on? What's going on tomorrow night? What's going on every night? I got it. Nothing. No, I'm just kidding. Tomorrow night, of course, the show notes at Mark's. As Mark just said, the Sunday Night Geekery. Please join us for that. Looking forward to that. And then Monday night, it's a big double feature, an early special show on Clobbering Time, 6 p.m. Central. The great J-Man joins us. Hey, the Flash movie's coming out this week, and they say it's going to be more about Batman and Flash. So I thought our Wacky World of Bob Haney presentation, we would do a Batman Flash team up. Since it's going to be coming out this week, and it's Clobby's Classic Comics Review. If you haven't joined us yet for the Wacky World of Bob Haney, you're truly missing out if you're a comics fan. If you want to see the zaniest, craziest, nuttiest stories ever done by the craziest writer ever who ever lived or ever wrote comics, we have a lot of fun reviewing these. J-Man and I, again, it'll be 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Looking forward to that. J-Man and I hang out the rest of the other 3 days of the month on his channel reviewing Silver to Bronze Age Legion of Superheroes in chronological order with our good buddy Sean. And then, of course, for the regular 9 Central show on Mark C. Comics Talk on Monday night, just basic whatever comic stuff happens to pop in there. And then Wednesday night, my great friend Michael of Retro Blasting will be joining me. Michael French, who has joined me bazillions of times before, and it's always fantastic, but it's been a while. So we're just going to hang out and talk basic geek stuff and just have a lot of fun on Wild Card Wednesday night. And I cannot wait for that. And, of course, then the Clubhouse. Thursday night with my wonderful first officer and our great chief engineer talking, reviewing Tales of Tomorrow, Jerry Anderson's UFO, and a Star Trek comic. And can't wait for that. And, of course, I guess next Friday I'll be on with Nick and the gang for the Friday night comic shop talk. Looking forward to that. Hope Nick and all those people are having a great time in Dallas for the big Dallas meetup. So I want to thank you all for being here with us tonight. It is now time for the shout outs. On Saturday nights, we shout you in, we shout you out. And starting with our wrenches, with the bronze wrencher himself, the great Eric K. Thank you so much, buddy. Chris Persia, the Vindicated Wrench of the North. D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Lord and Lady Thoth, the gods and goddess of wrenches. Avon lives, long live the Legion. Wrench Without Fear, J-Man. Clubboni Wrench Extraordinaire, Hungry Boy. Steven, Cal L, Super Wrench, Maddie's Daddy, Wielder of Rich Mjolnir, and Fanty Outsidey, the Rascally Wrencher, and of course, Maximum Redstone, our own music meister. Now, let us see. Let's say our shout outs to all of you fantastic friends who are here with us tonight. Of course, Anti-Derivative Jill, our communications officer. Let's see here. Shooter was here. Thank you, Shooter. Simply Steve. Let's see. Raymond Feliciano and Sandra Feliciano. Happy birthday, Sandra. Joseph Dredd, here comes the judge. Lisa, lovely to see you, Lisa. Lovely Lisa. Michael Beacom, and shout out to Cassandra. Larry. Enigmatic Drop Bear, thank you so much for being fantastic to see you. And it's also wonderful to have seen Fiona M. Fiona, so good to see you here, Fiona. Thank you. SP4H. Victor Fontaine. Sean Carter from Mars. Little Scotty. Lynn Barnett. Captain Infinity and Beyond. Hungry Boy. Oh, I already said Hungry Boy, but no, twice is fine, of course. Rob Altus, good to see you, my friend. Parker Luck, thank you so much for being here. Snail Messiah. Captain James T. Skywalker. DJ Ronnie G. Grim. Dadman Walking and the Dadman Clan. Shout out to Mrs. Dadman. Claude Salling. Brian Hepburn. Mr. Angel. Thank you, Chef. Masses Maniac Mexico MMM. Paul Alistio. Tiki of Doom. Blunt Philly Reviews. D.D. Myers Jr. John Juggy Rubus. Minimusness. The lovely Katie. Stephen Ernest. Smilex. The AI Show. Peter York. Mohammed said. Bubba Doom 1, my friend. J.T. Kirk, the great J.T. Kirk. Cardinal Sin, Yay Gill. Sander Hammersland. Slug, sorry, messed it up. J. Picasso and Crease 1984. Wow, what a great group. Look who popped in at the last second there. Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division. Bruce. Hello, Bruce. Good to see you there, my friend. It is always a pleasure. I hope you are doing well. So now, my friends, it's time to say goodnight through our with these messages and these credits. I hope you all have a wonderful remainder of your weekend. Clobber on, clobberers. I hope to see you on the streams. Take care, my friends.
I'm an engineer, not a philosopher.
I just love clobbering time.